from Wembley Stadium. I'm Rob Law and this is BBC Radio T's Sport. Part-time Spennymoor Town of the National League North are potentially 90 minutes away from etching their names into the annals of the FA Trophy.
It's 5-4 to Moors in the shootout. Taran Al-Arakia, the Rochdale number 7, will just amble again towards the penalty spot. And it's tipped! Spennymoor Town are going to Wembley! Ryan Luthra is the hero! He saves the spot kick from Taran Al-Arakia, and Spennymoor Town's fans are on the pitch!
Yes, they've had to do it the hard way, beating 3 teams from higher divisions to reach Wembley Stadium here this afternoon in the nation's capital. And if they want to get their hands on the trophy, they'll have to make it 4. Aldershot Town of the National League stand in the way of the Moors making history. Manager Graham Lee says they're determined to see it through.
It's huge, isn't it? It's huge. That's what I keep saying. Sport, like I said, and we remind the lads, you put yourselves in the history books of Spennymoor Town won, and the FA Trophy is a massive trophy, and so to be able to achieve that would be unbelievable. And like I said, we're in football to try and win things and achieve things, and I said to the lads before the Rochdale game, these are the games you'll never forget. Win or lose, you'll never forget. Just give it your all, and we'll see what happens, and that'll be no different now.
A lot of Spenny hopes will undoubtedly rest on the shoulders of the club's all-time record goal scorer, Glenn Taylor. And as if it were written in the stars, the striker celebrates his 35th birthday on today of all days. Well, Taylor says to win it would be special.
Yeah, dream come true. Obviously I feel like it's my club now. I've been here 10 years. I'm the captain now. I've dedicated probably a decade of my life to the club, and it would just mean everything and more.
More to come from the striker Glenn Taylor, also known as the National League North GOAT, as well as the Moors boss Graham Lee, before full match commentary with Matty Nixon and Spennymoor defender Ben Pollock. It's all right here on your BBC Radio T Sport, live from Wembley Stadium between now and 6:30.
BBC Radio T Sport.
Yes, good afternoon, welcome one, welcome all to Wembley Stadium. The red seats stand bright, kissed with sunshine. There are shadows on the pitch. The ground staff are going to work because we've just had the FA Vars final taking place. It actually went to extra time and Whitstable Town ended up lifting the trophy. They're still on the pitch celebrating, but the main event is to follow. Graham Lee, Spennymoor Town manager, along with his players in black and white in the dressing rooms, going through their final preparations. Cones have been strategically placed out in both halves of the pitch. The fans filtering in to the stadium to take their seats. The stage is firmly set. The cameras are focused and the lights from above us beaming down from the roof of the stadium are shining bright. This afternoon, it's all between Aldershot Town of the National League and Spennymoor Town of the National League North. Describing all the action for you this afternoon, Ben Pollock, the Spennymoor Town defender, who's going to join us a little bit later on. He's going to actually be warming up with the teams and then coming to join us in our commentary position here. Matty Nixon will be the man describing every kick of this one. Matty, it's been some build-up, but the time has finally come.
Hey, this is all right, isn't it?
It's not bad.
This is all right. The National Stadium laid out in front of us. Spennymoor Town fans away to our left-hand side. Aldershot fans away to our right. And as you say, some journey. Spennymoor Town don't do things by half. Let's put it that way. You heard a little bit of it there in the intro of that game at Rochdale, which, by rights, Spennymoor Town had no right to win that. Rochdale flying high in the National League, finishing 4th in the end, securing a playoff spot, thumping Hartlepool United just a couple of weeks after that.
Yeah.
Spennymoor Town had no right to go to Scotland and win that match, but they hung in there, they fought tooth and nail, and they did it. And here they are with quite possibly the biggest game in Spennymoor Town's history, 90 minutes away from writing themselves in the history books of a club that's come from nothing in County Durham. They were here 12 years ago in the FA Vars final. They've had special days before, but this tops it.
Yes, this is special and then some. We're going to get down to touchline very shortly to speak to Harry Roy, who is in position. Many people will be jealous of where he is seated this afternoon as some of the teams just make their way out of the tunnel. We'll be down to Harry very shortly. But Matty, there are a lot of people who'll be listening to us this afternoon who may be from a Middlesbrough persuasion, maybe a Hartlepool United persuasion, Darlington, Mask United, Whitby Town.
Many links.
So many links.
Yeah.
And you feel like there is that northeast pride on Spennymoor Town this afternoon.
And we don't always get that, do we?
No.
As a region, I find there's a lot of tribalism, there's a lot of rivalry between clubs, but I don't think I've ever seen an area really come together and get behind a team like the northeast has with Spennymoor Town in the build-up to this game. You've got fans of those up the road, up the A19, that we tend not to speak about too much on BBC Radio T Sport. You've got Borough fans, you've got Hartlepool United fans, you've got Darlington fans, you've got fans from all over just wishing this squad well as the Moors players just come out onto the pitch and feel the turf of Wembley underneath their boots for the very first time. I tell you what, should we go down and see what it's like down there? Harry Roy has one of the best seats in the house. Have you got your sun cream on, Harry? Because it's pretty hot down there.
Oh, I have got my sun cream on indeed, Matty. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to pitchside here at Wembley. I'm just stood above the Spennymoor Town dugout, just looking at manager Graham Lee, catching up with some potential friends and family there, looking very, very smiley. Like you were saying there before, Matty, those Spennymoor Town players have just come onto the pitch here, feeling that Wembley turf for the very first time. And the atmosphere down here just starting to build up. Those Moors fans who have gathered over in the east side of the stadium, just starting to fill it up now, and had a chance to speak to some of those Spennymoor Town supporters before the game on Wembley Way a little bit earlier on, and the feeling I got from them was just excitement for this game. There's so many of them in those black and white colours, young kids with faces painted, special hats for the big occasion, and nearly everyone I spoke to as well fancied a Spennymoor Town victory. Look, the sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. Wembley is a place for winners. Let's see if Moors can do it. Not long to go now.
And what's the body language like of the players on the pitch there, Harry? You're within touching distance of them, right behind the two technical areas that will house Graham Lee, who I can see is as cool as you like, hands in his pocket, strolling around and just taking up his first position in that technical area for the very first time. But what about the players who have, as you and Matty both described, stepped out onto the pitch for the very first time this afternoon, their first real feel of the ball down on the surface?
Yeah, they look relaxed, they look ready for it, but you know deep down inside that they will be feeling the pressure. It's natural, it's a Wembley final. These things don't happen often for Spennymoor Town. Graham Lee just wandering along the touchline, he's taking it all in, looks very, very relaxed, and that's the feeling I'm getting from down here. But not long to go till kick-off. The Moors players seem to look ready, but it's a really interesting one as the Aldershot players just come out now. They've brought 18,000 fans on the other end of the ground, but I'm sure the Moors supporters will be loud and proud at the other end of the stadium. You will be able to hear them. But like I was just saying there, Rob, it's an interesting one because the Moors players are warming up, getting ready for this FA Trophy final, the biggest game in their club's history. And in the far corner are the Whitstable
Yes.
Town players and fans who are still celebrating winning the FA Vars. So it's all going on this left-hand side of the pitch here at Wembley, but anticipation and excitement is building for the big one. It's the FA Trophy final.
Harry, thank you very much. We'll be back down to Harry in a sec. I just wanted to add a little bit to what Harry said there. One of the things that I've found with Spennymoor Town fans, I know you've spoken to a couple, Rob, in the BBC Radio T Sport studios, that we'll hear from a little later. There's just this overwhelming pride as well at this football club. There's those stories behind this journey as well. Gemma Lee, Graham's wife, and the struggle she goes through on a day-to-day basis with a terminal brain tumour. She's here today to see her husband and his side come out. There's the Tony Lee angle, former Spennymoor United manager, a real North East non-league legend, He sadly passed away, Graham's dad, Tony, last year, or the year before that, sorry, with dementia. It was a cruel battle with dementia. He's accompanied Graham all the way through this journey, and I just feel it's in my water, it's written in the stars for Tony and for Gemma to will them on to the victory today.
Absolutely, and we're going to hear from Graham Lee very, very shortly. And he's a man true to his word. When I spoke to him in midweek and asked him about his Wembley attire, he says, I'm not going to change a thing. I'll be there in my T-shirt and my shorts. He says, I know Tommy Widrington will be kitted out to the nines with his suit on, he says, but I will be there in my T-shirt and my shorts. And he very much has lived up to that as he strolls onto the Wembley surface for the very first time. The applause you can hear is from down right in front of us, the Aldershot fans, and they've brought many, close to 18,000 in here this afternoon. They will dwarf the Spennymoor town support, which is around about 4,000, maybe just over. But as we all know, up in the northeast, we sing loud, we sing proud, and I'm sure that Spennymoor contingent will make themselves heard. Matty, let's have a look at the team that Graham Lee has picked for the FA Trophy final.
I think I described the victory at Rochdale as history. Those history makers at Rochdale have kept their place in the starting 11 today. It's an identical side to the one that won at Scotland a little over a month ago, apart from in goal, where of course Rohan Luthra was parachuted in at the last moment.
What a story that is.
And was the hero ultimately. He's now back at Derby County, and he's replaced by a name that will be familiar to Borough fans, will be familiar to Poolies, particularly familiar to Poolies if you were maybe keeping an eye on things in Ashton Gate a few years back. Brad James comes in goal, so that's the only change to the side that played in the semi-final against Rochdale. So for Spennymoor Town this afternoon, James in goal, a back four of Ollie Dyson, Michael Ledger, another former Borough man in Ben Bales and Rhys Staunton. Another former Hartlepool United player, Matty Dolan, is the deepest line of the midfielders. He'll have the Scunthorpe loanee Finn Shrimpton alongside him. And then the links between the clubs across our part of the world just keep going on, because you've got Junior Mondal, ex-Whitby, ex-Darlington, ex-Middlesbrough. He is at the right of a three attacker midfielders. Centrally is Rob Ramshaw. He made his 400th appearance in their final National League North game of the season for Spennymoor Town, and Corey McEwen. They're all in support of the man that was being referenced already, the GOAT, Spennymoor Town's leading all-time goal scorer, Glenn Taylor, 35 today, and just the 210 goals for Moors.
Just,
yeah.
That's some going. Those are some numbers. And we're going to hear from Glenn before we get underway here. Kickoff is at 4:15. But in that, I did say to him, he said, you know, some stories are just there to be written, Glenn, and the fact you turned 35 on the day of the FA Trophy final would make some headlines. And he just turned, and with a wry smile, he said, it'd be like McIlroy winning the Masters.
That's a great way of describing it as well.
This is his Grand Slam, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear, though, for the first time from Spennymoor Town boss Graham Lee this afternoon. The Moors FA Trophy campaign started back in November of last year with a 2-1 win over South Shields. And Graham Lee admits their dream of a Wembley final was almost over before it even started.
Yeah, obviously when you look at the draws, and it wasn't an easy draw getting South Shields, full-time club and local rivals, so you're going into that. What I remember again is, I think we were playing well and then we ended up going 1-0 down, and it was one of them moments where you're like, and that probably them games are where you see more pressure. When we talked about the pressure, because we wanted a good cup run and we wanted a good FA Cup run, so you're in the first round, think myself, like, we need something. And then I think from coming 1-0 down to going 2-1 up, winning 2-1 was, I think, just that little bit of character. And I always just judge the lads on how we perform, if it's league or games, and you're up against these teams, and they're a footballing team. South Shields, you have to do your job, disciplined job, so you're up against tough opposition, and when the lads do their jobs. But yeah, that win's massive. Obviously it reflects, you've got Tom Allen who scores, and then he leaves us to go to South Shields, and so
scored against you later on, didn't he?
Yeah, and then scores, comes back. So them little things where you look at Tom's made a decision, he probably looks back now and goes, maybe he's wish I didn't do that decision. But it is what it is. It's but no, yeah, them games, it's just massive games for you, obviously the first round, and that's probably where you feel the pressure more than anything.
Tell me the story about Brad James's goalkeeping kit, because it is fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's obviously we got. I think we beat, was it Alfred in the next round, and then we got Hampton.
Yeah, Hampton and Richmond.
And so we're gone down. We're driving down, and we went overnight, and we realised we hadn't brought Brad's kit. It hadn't been put in. So I like Coombsy always blames our kitman Paul Coombs will blame Joe, and one of the lads who helps him, and Joel. He's none of the wiser if he's been blamed or not. So it's just sort of laugh and joke. So thankfully, the fans bus was travelling down, so we asked them to put it on. I think it might be one of the volunteers who put it on for us, and so we didn't know anyway. We got it there, they brought it in time, so Brad's put his kit on, and when we win, then a video gets put on, and it's one of the fans in Brad's full kit, not just his top, his shorts, his socks, he's got gloves on, and they're all singing like in the middle, and it's just one of the.
In the middle of our bus, Brad James, isn't it?
Yeah, in the middle of our bus, Brad James, and you know what? Like, we seen that on the way home and think, what a story! It's brilliant, and like, thankfully we won, so they could put that on, and I just thought, it's one of the highlights for me of this trophy run. That the connection with the fans we've got anyway is brilliant, but. Seeing that I thought it was different class. I really did.
It was very, very good. Yeah. And you have in this run, you touched upon it there, but you've already come up against and beaten numerous National League clubs: Boston United, Sutton United, obviously Rochdale before in the semi-final. So, at what point do you think, okay, yeah, now we're really in with a shout here? Is there a specific point you can look at and go, that's when we really thought we might be able to get to Wembley? You're going to tell me Rochdale now, aren't you?
Probably the Sutton game.
Yeah.
Look, the Boston game, you don't know what you're going to be like going into the game. I'm confident with our lads, but you're up against opposition from the league above. 20 minutes into that game, I looked, and I can remember looking at myself, where are you? We can match these, and I felt that, and then we got sucker punched in that game by 2 set plays, but then we came back, which was brilliant. And then the Sutton game, people don't talk about Ryan up, Brad steps up, a couple of saves in the first half, we had good opportunities, but we kept creating chances in these games, which was pleasing to see. So we knew we can hurt these teams. We just had to be really disciplined in our shape and work effort, and if you do that, you can earn your own luck at times. We made some great blocks and things, but then we end up getting our 2 goals, and once you going away from home somewhere like Sutton, or another ex-football league club, it's
a tough place to go, Gander Green.
You're coming on that bus home knowing you're in a semi-final, think to myself, alright, and then you're looking at the draw, you're just hoping for a home draw, even though we're going away from home and picking up these wins. So and that you just think, but then obviously you get Rochdale, and it's so easy to think about what's ahead, but I think from the Hartlepool situation and being so close to Wembley and thinking about it, it was just, let's just say Rochdale game, and it was just sunk in after that game when I literally the celebrations, and I ran on, and then I shook their manager's hand, and I can remember just walking on, just understand, I'm going to Wembley, we're going to Wembley, I'm saying the team at Wembley, my team are going to Wembley, and what a feeling, what a unbelievable feeling to have. And then the celebrations, and then my kids are on the pitch with me and all that, and then you see your mum and brother in the stand. It's unbelievable to have that. And then I think, like I said, similar in that story, I think every dog walk for the next week for me, I'd be walking along and it just hit you every 5 minutes, Wembley, and you're like, come on. It's
the man walking his dog who's fist pumping in the air, going, I'm going to Wembley.
That weirdo keeps shouting Wembley.
I just saw him again walking down the street singing Wembley. Yeah. But I mean, that's what it means to people, and that's what it means to you. Yeah,
no, it's massive. It is massive, and people know me around my area, or people at my schools, and Grayson's school sent me a postcard. My wife was going, "Oh, Grayson's won an award." I'm going, "Oh, that's for me, that one." So it's little things like that, massive, because people understand. Anyone involved in football, or even not involved in football, know if someone's achieved to get to Wembley, it's a massive, massive achievement.
It certainly is. Graham Lee, the Spennymoor Town manager, speaking to me earlier this week. Always so generous with his time, whether it's with the media or with fans when he's out walking his dog, jumping down the street shouting Wembley as he does so. And I'm sure many people listening at home are wishing him well. If you want to send in your well wishes, if you want to send in your thoughts to us, then you can get involved. Text 81333, start the message with the word Tees. We are at BBC Tees Sport on social media via X, and if you're on there while you are there, drop us a follow and you can keep up to date with the game as we go throughout the afternoon. We have Dan Ragusa with us, who is working as hard as ever to bring you all the colour from the nation's capital and from Wembley Stadium. We've just seen Mark Simpson. If you know Spennymoor Town, if you know Hartlepool United as a football club, you'll know the name Mark Simpson. He is the media officer at the club, and he is on the big screen at Wembley, and that is a real face to grace the screen. Mark Simpson, I'm sure a very proud moment for him this afternoon to be here as he reads out the team to the fans inside the stadium this afternoon. Right, more build-up to come from Wembley after this.
Gary Phillipson. Weekday mornings from 10.
Dovey straight in. She says, Gazza, can I ask you a question? Can I go out and do my lawn today? Because I know you're a man with council experience. As an apprentice gardener for Sedgefield District Council, back in the day, I do have that genuine experience of flower beds, cutting grass, pruning trees, bushes, shrubs, that sort of lark. Marion in Recca says, Gazza, there's a gardening programme on BBC Tees on a Sunday. Marianne Foster, absolute legend. And John Guy is just one of the best horticultural minds that you could ever have. You not get better gardening advice. Well, you know, I try my best.
Gary Phillipson. Weekday mornings from 10. BBC Radio Tees.
BBC Radio Tees Sport here live from Wembley Stadium right through until 6:30. Of course, it may go longer if extra time and penalties are needed, but Spennymoor Town of the National League North will of course try and get it done in 90 minutes. So speaking to Brad James, the former Hartlepool United goalkeeper, earlier today, and I said, if it does go to penalties, Brad, you certainly got good form in a shootout. And he said, yes, I do, but really would hope that we can get it done in 90 minutes. So that is very much the mentality going into the game this afternoon. And many Spennymoor Town hopes today will rest on the shoulders of striker Glenn Taylor. He is Mr. Spennymoor, and as fate would have it, today marks his 35th birthday. And the forward says the win over Rochdale in the semi-final was emotional.
Yeah, it was, honestly, that's exactly right. I think I stood on the pitch in the 94th minute, looked at the clock and thought, like, it kind of just sums up my career of kind of so close but yet so far. And I just thought, like, I'm nearly 35, I'm never going to have a chance to do this again. And I kind of thought, to be honest, I thought it was over. And then we kind of just launched one into the box, and Aidan Rutledge just scored an unbelievable header, probably the most important goal he'll ever score in his career, which is obviously he's quite young still. So, but the scenes after that and just disbelief really, and then obviously to take it to penalties and score 5 perfect penalties, and our emergency loanee keeper to save the win one. It's incredible really, and I think how elated we were. Then I just think about how the Rochdale players must have felt, but obviously I'm not too bothered about them. But as well as we felt, they must have felt shocking after that one. But an incredible moment, and obviously lots of friends and family there. Obviously a great crowd from Spenny, and just like you say, just kind of summed up our trophy run so far. Just the best day in my career so far. 100%. I think, like I said, I thought we were dead and buried done, and you know, I thought, like, I'm one game away from Wembley and we haven't made it. To then literally 10 minutes later, just I was in shock. As soon as we won the penalties, I just wanted to try and get over to my family afterwards, like ran to the keeper, and then there was just Spenny fans in my face, obviously pitching region, and I'm just looking at them like they must have been thinking he doesn't look very happy. But I was just in absolute shock. I couldn't believe like what had happened. Like overwhelmed, but yeah, I thought definitely the best day of my career, especially the celebrations afterwards as well.
Just on Graham Lee, because we've spoken to him quite a lot throughout the season,
during his time at Spennymoor and last season too. And he's always so quick to praise the players, and he's always so quick to, I suppose, downplay his own part in the progress at the club. So I just wonder, from your perspective, what is it about Graham Lee that has just helped continue this momentum that Jason Ainsley, initiated, really?
Yeah, I think he's really similar to Jason, to be fair. Like a really great person, first and foremost, that the lads like as a person. And then obviously he's had a really good career himself, which people obviously respect as a football person. And then in his kind of short managerial career, he's done some good things. And in terms of what he's like day to day, he's obviously just really good to be around, and just knows exactly what he wants out of his players. He sets the standard and he just drills down. I think he's mentioned it before in his team talks and stuff. Like when he spoke to you, there's not loads you can say, but him and Clarty are saying the same things. And this kind of the thing I say before I go out as the captain is, like, we know what we need to do as players to be successful in the way the gaffer wants to play. So his philosophy is obvious to us now, and obviously as touching on 60 games this season, we're really in the groove of how the gaffer wants to play and what he expects. And he's just got massive respect from all the players, and everyone kind of enjoys being managed by him. He knows when he needs to kind of lean down on someone and give them a little bit more, but he's just a really good person, and yeah, we all really like him.
3 quick fire questions to end. What would it mean to you to play at Wembley and to win at Wembley with this club?
Yeah, dream come true. Obviously I feel like it's my club now. I've been here 10 years. I'm the captain now. I've dedicated probably a decade of my life to the club, and it would just mean everything and more.
What would it mean to the club to win at Wembley, do you think?
Huge. I think that the chairman always goes on about the size of the town and the population of the town and how small of a club we are, really. And to be kind of mixing it with all of these big clubs like your Rochdales and other teams that are involved in this competition, like your York Cities and things like that, and to be able to be little Spennymoor and win the biggest non-league competition would just be unbelievable, really an unbelievable achievement.
And last one, this is where we get to be a little bit soppy, but you say there, you dedicated 10 years to this club. What does Spennymoor mean to you?
It's just my team. I feel like it's me, and that's everything I've kind of known. I think when you get a bit older and you kind of grow up, I've done that through being at Spennymoor, and all of the people there and the fans. I've known them for 10 years now, and I just feel like I was meant to be at Spennymoor, and that's probably why I've never left and why I'll never leave. And I'll obviously end at Spennymoor and ideally be part of the club for years to come in whatever role that may be. But yeah, Spennymoor means everything to me, to be fair.
Wouldn't be bad to do that with an FA trophy in your back pocket, would it?
Yeah, it'd be the dream come true, wouldn't it? It'd be like McElroy winning the Masters. It would just be like the final thing for me to do. Like, yeah, it'll be like the perfect moment.
Glenn Taylor's Grand Slam.
Yeah. Wouldn't call it that, I suppose. Yeah, we just need to win it, mate. Honestly, I don't want to be watching Aldershot lift the trophy at Wembley when we've done all this hard work. We need to go one more and make sure the dream comes true.
Let's hope the dream does come true, not only of Glenn Taylor, but of Graham Lee of Spennymoor Town, of North East football. And I have to say, the Aldershot fans are building a nice atmosphere. We're etched right into the corner of this press box, and you have to say the colours that dominate the eyesight at the minute are blue and red. Close to 18,000 Aldershot fans inside Wembley this afternoon. Spennymoor Town, there's just over 4,000 away to our left, but make no mistake, when the whistle is blown, when the action starts and the ball starts rolling, those fans in black and white will certainly make themselves heard.
And what was it you said during the week, Rob? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Exactly that. And that will be, I think, the motto of Spennymoor Town fans inside the stadium this afternoon. And Matty, let's have a reminder of the all-important team news, please.
Yes, Spennymoor Town's 11 to start this afternoon at Wembley is just one different from that defeated Rochdale in the semi-final at Scotland a little over a month ago. The one change comes in goal, where Rohan Luthra, the hero of the day, who saved that spot kick and sent Moors to Wembley, is now back with his parent club, Derby County. Or he's not, he's actually here today, but he's not involved in the squad. He's been replaced by the former Hartlepool United and Middlesbrough goalkeeper and the Moors number 1, Brad James, who's back from injury now after a shoulder problem. Brad James in goal, a back four of Ollie Dyson, Michael Ledger, Ben Beals and Rhys Staunton. The two holder midfielders for Moors are Matty Dolan and Finn Shrimpton. You've got 3 more advanced midfielders in Junior Mondal, Rob Ramshaw and Corey McEwen in support of that man you just heard from there, the GOAT of Moors on his 35th birthday, Glenn Taylor. Your subs for Spennymoor Town this afternoon are Ryan Johnson, the sub-goalkeeper, Dan Myers, Dan Rowe, Callum Ross, Nathan Simpson, Will Harris and Aidan Rutledge. As for Aldershot this afternoon, they line up with Marcus Dewhurst in goal, 3 centre-halves of Luca Woodhouse, Dan Ellison and Will Armitage. Right wing back you've got Tyler Frost, the left wing back is the captain Aaron Jones. You've got 2 holder midfielders in Dejan Tetek and Theo Woodrington, who is the son of the Shots manager, of course, Tommy Woodrington. And then James Henry is in support of Josh Barrett and Jack Barham up top. The bench for the Shots this afternoon, Jordy van Stappershoff is the sub-goalkeeper. Let's hope he doesn't come on this afternoon. Kai Corbett, Oliver Bray, Ollie Scott, Hady Gandur, Maxwell Mullins and Kwame Thomas. Your referee this afternoon here at Wembley is Lewis Smith of Lancashire.
Thank you, Matty Nixon. Matty will be describing all the action when it gets underway 4:15. Whatever you're doing this afternoon, wherever you're going, you can take us with you on BBC Sounds. This one is for North East football, and it's certainly not to be missed as the water sprinklers kick into action. The Aldershot fans rise to their feet because their players in red and blue are circling round in front of us to make their final walk back into the dressing room. Their final preparations are now done. The Spennymoor Town players over on the far side will be doing the very same. And I tell you what, let's head down to Harry Roy, because Harry's been a very busy man and he's got somebody special with him.
Thanks very much, Rob. I'm joined by a very special guest pitchside here at Wembley, none other than Rohan Luthra, the man whose save got Moors here to the FA Trophy final. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm buzzing. Like, just being here now, seeing all the lads inside, seeing them earlier, just seeing a glimpse of the trophy there. Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait for it to start.
And just to go back to what happened, to give some context, you came from Derby County. It was an emergency loan. You travelled down on the day. You'd never met the teammates into an enormous game for this football club, and it couldn't have gone any better. What was that build-up, that 12 hours or so, like for you?
I think, to be honest, it was probably the best thing that could have happened. There was no time for me to be stressing or worried or anxious or anything. It was just straight in. I mean, it's a credit to all the boys and the manager and the coaching staff. I mean, everyone at the club just making me feel so welcome and easy straight away.
And it says a lot that you're back here. Will and the lads are not on the pitch today, but soaking it all in.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was on the pitch. I mean, looking at it now, it's brilliant. But soaking it all in, you're right. And I mean, just getting behind the boys, doing my part. Hopefully we can get a result.
And for those Moors fans, they've come in their numbers. 20% of the population of Spennymoor, we think, has made the journey down here today. Just a word for them.
That's unbelievable. I mean, just look at them now, filling it up. I mean, it's brilliant. The journey's miles away, everything's miles away, but they're committed. I mean, the short games I had, I could tell they're a proper fan base, proper supporters.
And in terms of the lads, do you feel that they're ready for this big occasion? They've been the underdogs all the way through. Will this suit the lads, you think, today?
I think so. I mean, they can go out there and play with no pressure. Last game of the season, they can give it their all. I mean, inside, they're all ready, they're all focused, especially now watching the warm-up, so look on it, so it's good.
Rohan, thanks very much. Matty, Rob, back to you.
Oh, I'll tell you what a part he played in this story. Rohan Luthra, the lonely goalkeeper who saved the penalties to help get the Moors here to Wembley. this afternoon. Let's hear from the Spennymoor Town manager Graham Lee. Then the Moors won the FA Vars back in 2013 here at Wembley under Jason Ainsley back then. Lee says this is their moment to write their names in the history books.
It's huge, isn't it? Yeah. It's huge. Yeah, that's what I keep saying. Yeah, sport, like you said, and we'll be reminding the lads, you put yourselves in the history books of Spennymoor Town won, and the FA trophy is a massive trophy, and so to be able to achieve that would be unbelievable. And like I said, we're in football to try and win things and achieve things, and I said to the lads before the Rochdale game, these are the games you'll never forget. Win or lose, you'll never forget. Just give it your all, and we'll see what happens. And that'll be no different now. To say we're going to Wembley is a massive thing as it is. To say we won at Wembley, it's even bigger.
Spennymoor have been to Wembley with the FA Vars, they've had success there, but this does just feel like another level.
Oh yeah, it's I think because last time I speak to Jay, Jay's like, I speak to him, Jason Ainsley, I speak to him near enough every day, and we talk football. He's my go-to in between me and the chairman, and he achieved unbelievable things for Spenny. But he says the Vars, they were favourites to win it, probably because of the squad they had and the level it was. So to us to get there as part-time clubs from a league below majority of the teams who usually win this, it's a massive thing. So yeah, it is a top achievement. But I keep saying that, like, I don't like talking about it too much because but yeah, that's the aim, is to go win it now, and we'll give everything we can to try and do that.
And I spoke to Glenn Taylor not too long ago, and I thought he just summed it up brilliantly to what it meant to him, because he said that game against Rochdale, he said, look, I'd been marked out the game effectively. He said I was a bit frustrated, I wasn't able to be as effective as I wanted to be in that moment because of how Rochdale had approached it. And he looked up at the clock, and the clock was ticking down to the 90-minute mark, and he said, I had that thought in my head of, oh well, story of my career, so close but so far. And then fast forward 10-15 minutes, and you're celebrating making it to the final at Wembley. For some of those players, this is going to be the biggest game of their career.
Oh, it's massive. And to be honest, like, Glenn, seeing his face after the game, like, just a smile, but you could see what it meant to him when that smile, like, he just kept looking at me. So like, it was like probably a bit disbelief, but like, you could see how much he would like, and even in the next few days training, the next game, like, you could see what it meant, and he said what it means to them all. It's unbelievable, like, for us all. Like, me, my staff, I have to, Clarky, I'm sorry, it's probably 20 minutes in, but he said, any chance you'll give me a nod heads up at some point? But Clark, I've got Ian Clark with me, who was, like I said, I played with Ian Clark, I was his best man, so I'm his godfather to his daughter Megan, and they're like, having someone like that, and then to be able to achieve something like that, like what he does for me is brilliant on his role and everything he does. But people like us to be able to celebrate going to Wembley together it's huge. There you go, Clark, I've sold you out.
You've got the honourable mention in there, Clarky, you're all right. And just before we wrap up, I wanted to mention your dad, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
Because I heard your interview with Matty after the win at Rochdale, and you'd said about taking your dad's ashes to Wembley. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. I don't know if Wembley are going to try and stop me or not, but
we won't tell them.
Don't tell anyone. No, I carries his ashes on me like khaki and thing, but I have my match day ones, and then I've got some ashes in a jar which I've like for myself. I'm saving them just in case. And so they're in my bag with me. I kiss them every game, and then I'll have my couple of lucky ones, and then my brother will give me some ashes for every round that we went to. Every ground we sprinkle a few on, so Rochdale was no different. And then I had the bag in my pocket in the penalties, and that's what I was saying. I was like, when it came to the last penalty row and I was emptying it, come on dad, help us out here. My dad was just a football massive. He came close to achieving Wembley with he had teams, so quarter-finals, semi-finals of the same cup. So for me to get there and then to be able to hopefully spring my dad's ashes on Wembley, and I think he'd be a happy man with that.
I think that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be incredible.
Yeah.
And last word, I suppose, to the fans, the Spennymoor Town fans who managed to get hold of Brad James's goalkeeping kit and wear it and serenade him all the way down and all the way back again, no doubt. But the fans who have been there from the very first game against South Shields to the Gander Green Lane against Sutton United to Rochdale and now to Wembley. I suppose your chance to speak directly to them.
It's just all we can say is thanks, one, for bringing Brad's kit. But the support we've had, league and cups, been immense. It has really been immense, and I just want everyone to enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend. Don't drink too much till after the win. Now, we'll give everything we can, and to give them even something else to cheer about. But just everyone go enjoy the whole moment. This is what football's about, having these days, and for the town and for the club and for everyone involved. So enjoy it.
Enjoy it. We all will, I'm sure. I don't know if Graham Lee will be able to enjoy it. I'm sure the emotions will be pulled and stretched throughout the entire afternoon. And as the sun beams down onto the pitch, the arch is set, the red carpet has been rolled out, the flags are ready to be waved, and everybody inside Wembley, whether it's from a Spennymoor Town persuasion or whether it's the red and blue of Aldershot, everybody is waiting with bated breath to see the players walk out of the tunnel and onto the Wembley surface. The trophy is sitting tall and proud on top of the plinth. The cameras are trained down the tunnel, the lights shining brightly, and everybody's focus on Spennymoor Town against Aldershot Town in the FA Trophy. We said it in midweek. It's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It is all about the size of the fight in the dog, and that is the mantra that Spennymoor Town will be hoping to take this afternoon. And as the players walk out of the tunnel and the flamethrowers go off, let's hand you over to our commentary team for this afternoon at Wembley Stadium in the nation's capital. It's Spennymoor player Ben Pollock, and first, Matty Nixon.
Oh, Rob, thank you very much. The pyrotechnics and fireworks go off in front of us as Spennymoor Town and Aldershot Town make their way onto the pitch. They're lined up with their two managers, Graham Lee and Tommy Widdrington, with a red carpet strewn in front of them on the lush green turf of Wembley. Some of the legends of the game have produced some of the biggest moments in football history here, and today it's the turn of Spennymoor Town to try and write their names into the history books. We're going to pause in a second for the national anthem as some dignitaries make their ways down the two lines of players and shake hands with both the players and the mascots in front of them. The Aldershot fans to our right way outnumber the Spennymoor fans to our left, but as Rob said, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it is the size of the fight in the dog. Good afternoon, Ben Pollock.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you? You've just been warming up on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely roasting, so I'm just trying to cool down a little.
But yes, the dignitaries making their way down. Ben Pollock, Spennymoor Town defender, getting a bit of stick in the programme notes off his teammate Rob Ramshaw for leaving the club to go to Chester last summer. But he's back now. He's part of the Moors squad and setup and has been all season, just not involved today. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, obviously mixed emotions, buzzing for the lads. I mean, this is potentially once in a career opportunity, but obviously bittersweet that I'm not involved.
Well, he has been out to warm up on the pitch, though, as Ben says, and I think that the toughest part of today has probably been the fact that you were in the change rooms for 2.5 hours while the VARs went to extra time.
Yeah, we were watching it. It was 1-1, and we were watching the last 15, begging for someone to score. But I mean, yeah, we've been in there for a little while now, and it's even warmer in the changes. So that's been a challenge in itself.
As the dignitaries finish their handshakes in front of us, you've got the mascots, the officials, the managers, and the players all lined up. as the crowd begin to rise for the national anthem. The national anthem is done and dusted, the formalities are finished, and now it's time to do the last dance. Spennymoor Town are 90 minutes away from being the kings of non-league football, and I tell you what, I bet it's some atmosphere down on the touchline, Harry Roy.
It is absolutely incredible down here. I'm just looking at the Spennymoor Town players that were on the bench this afternoon, the likes of Will Harris and co, all arm in arm. They're just taking this in. What an incredible opportunity and what a moment that was here inside the stadium. The atmosphere is at its fever pitch. The just under 4,000 Moors fans there basking in the Wembley sunshine. They're expectant, they're hoping of a big moment here. What a day this is going to be.
Harry, thank you. We'll be back down to Harry throughout commentary this afternoon on Spennymoor Town versus Aldershot Town. Let's bring you that all-important team news as the two sides break off from the handshakes and get their celebratory pictures just by the FA Trophy stands away to our left. So there's one change from the side that actually went through at Rochdale in the semi-final just a month ago, and that is in goal. Of course, Rowan Luther is now back with his parent club, Derby County. Well, he's not, he's here today, but he's returned to the club, of course, and he's replaced by the Moors' number one, Brad James, who's returned since that game from his shoulder problem. So Brad James in goal, a back four, Ollie Dyson, Michael Ledger, Ben Beals and Rhys Staunton for Moors. The two holding midfielders are the experienced former Hartlepool United and Middlesbrough man Matty Dolan alongside Finn Shrimpton. And then you've got Junior Mondal, Rob Ramshaw and Corey McEwen in support of the man they call the GOAT on his 35th birthday, Glenn Taylor. As for Aldershot, as they break away from their pre-match huddles, and you can hear the applause from the Aldershot end away to our right, they have Marcus Dewhurst in goal, three centre-halves of Luca Woodhouse, Dan Ellison and Will Armitage. The right wing-back's Tyler Frost, left wing-back is the captain Aaron Jones. And then you've got Dejan Tetek and Theo Widrington as the holding midfielders, with James Henry in support of Josh Barrett and Jack Barham up top. Subs this afternoon for Spennymoor Town are the goalkeeper Ryan Johnston, Callum Ross, Dan Rowe, Will Harris, Dan Myers, Aidan Rutledge and Nathan Simpson. As for Aldershot Town, you've got Jordi Van Stappershoff is the sub-goalkeeper, as I said a little earlier on, Ben. I hope he doesn't come on. Elsewhere on the bench for Aldershot this afternoon, Kai Corbett, Ollie Bray, Ollie Scott, Paddy Gander, Maxwell Mullins and Kwame Thomas. Two former teammates, of course, on the respective benches in Tommy Widrington and Graham Lee, who secured promotions at Hartlepool United during their time at Victoria Park together into what is now League One. They may be friendly, but they'll be foes for the next 90 minutes or so, believe you me, as Aldershot go into their pre-match huddle. A few last words of encouragement for the Shots players. I think we're going to pause for a moment's reflection ahead of this afternoon's final, as both teams go and line up on the centre circle, and the Aldershot chants die down. We're going to have a minute's silence. I'll let the PA announcer tell you all the details. This will start and end on the referee's whistle. The minute's silence is done and dusted, remembering those who gave their lives 80 years on from VA victory in Europe. What Spennymoor Town themselves would give for a victory here in the FA Trophy final this afternoon. The two sides are lined up, ready to go. Referee Lewis Smith is just checking with his assistants by their intercom and their walkie-talkie services, their earphones and etc. He checks with the two goalkeepers. It's going to be Aldershot that gets us underway this afternoon at Wembley, as Spennymoor Town look to write their names in the history books in the FA Trophy final. It starts with a long punt forward from Marcus Dewhurst in the Aldershot goal, drifts harmlessly out for a Moors throw, and that'll just settle things down. What's the feeling been amongst the lads in the build-up to this one, Ben?
I think there's been a quiet confidence in us and a lot of excitement, and I think a lot of that today is going to, a lot of the result today is going to depend on how we handle these emotions.
It's a long ball over the top, looking for the run of Corey McEwen. No chances taken by the Aldershot defence, so it'll be a throw into Spennymoor Town up by the edge of the Aldershot area. Early opportunity to get the ball in the box potentially. It's taken short to Mondal. It's back to Dyson. Dyson going to look to whip one in, is he? No, he goes outside him to Rob Ramshaw. Ramshaw looks to get the ball in the middle. It's blocked by a Aldershot man though and cleared up towards halfway. That goes out off a Aldershot man that time in Josh Barrett. And it'll be a Moors throw about 10 yards inside the Aldershot half on the right hand side, and one for Dyson to take. Yes, Spennymoor Town, remember, have already beaten 3 National League sides to get here to Wembley today, as the throw's cleared back and it's out with Dyson on the right hand side now, about 35 yards out, cuts in field. He looked for the run of Mondal, but it's intercepted, and Aldershot will look to spring a counter. Down the left hand side there it was Dayan Tetel, and Aldershot in the end turned backwards under some pressure from Moors and just play it across the back of the defence. And you can hear the Aldershot Town fans trying to create a bit of early atmosphere for the side that are only based about 40 miles from Wembley, so it probably explains the slight advantage of the number of fans that could come here today. But to put it into perspective with Spennymoor Town, around about 4,000 Moors fans down at Wembley this afternoon. That's about 20% of the town of Spennymoor, as Aldershot win the ball in midfield. Down the left hand side there is the number 8 Tyler Frost. It's played across the middle. Theo Widrington goes backwards, and then it's a lofted ball forward looking for Henry, headed away by Moors though. Be picked up by Glenn Taylor just inside his own half. Looks down into the channel looking for the run of McEwen, but just intercepted at the vital moment there from the Aldershot defence, and the shots are now back in possession. 16 places, remember, between these two sides in the National League setup. Moors finishing 9th in the National League North this season, Aldershot 16th in the National League. That's a clattering challenge there from Theo Widrington. And I think it's Finn Shrimpton who's flat on his back there. Certainly left his mark on Shrimpton there, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a late one, that.
The referee's going to have a word with Theo Widrington, the son of Aldershot boss Tommy, and just tell him to calm himself down. Talented family as well, by the way, because Theo plays centre midfield for Aldershot. His other son, Kai, has been on Strictly Come Dancing. It's a long ball over the tops looking for the run of Ramshaw. He goes down in the box, felt a hand in the back. Would have been soft if Rob Ramshaw had been given that penalty, I think. The referee showing no interest, and the assistant on this near side showing no interest. The ball just drifting behind for an Aldershot goal kick. What did you make of that, Ben?
Good run. I think that you're going to see that a lot today. I think you're going to see Rammer make that run. They obviously play a 3 and they're where the gaps are, and early signs look good.
As Marcus Dewhurst launches this goal kick into the bright afternoon sky here at Wembley, up goes an Aldershot man and misses it, and Ollie Dyson will just see that one out for a Spennymoor throw just inside their own half. You've got Graham Lee out on the edge of his technical area in his familiar attire of Spennymoor Town tracksuit and polo shirt, whereas Tommy Widrington's gone suited and booted for the occasion, as the throw is taken and play spread out to the left hand side for Rhys Staunton to stride into the Aldershot half. McEwen comes short. Instead, it's whipped in towards the centre. It'll go up towards Taylor, headed clear by Aldershot, but it's going to come to the edge of the box, and Taylor tries a spectacular overhead kick that drifted into the gloves there of Marcus Dewhurst. But that just tells you all about the confidence of the man they call the GOAT, Glenn Taylor, doesn't it, Ben?
Yeah, and he is the GOAT, and I tell you what, if there's one man I want that to fall to, it's that man there.
It was an overhead kick from the edge of the 18-yard box, and it was on target. Needed Dewhurst to catch it. As now Aldershot launch a long ball forward, headed strongly clear by Michael Ledger. Moors will pick up possession just inside their own half and play it down the line, looking for Glenn Taylor again. It's off the head of an Aldershot man and cleared straight to the feet of Matty Dolan on halfway, and Shrimpton will spread play out to this right hand side, and Dyson. Bright start for Spennymoor Town. 5 minutes gone in the FA Trophy final, it remains goalless, but Dyson now up by the edge of the penalty area, plays a deep long ball into the middle, headed clear, taking no chances there for Aldershot, and you have your first corner of the afternoon, and it goes the way of Moors, Ben.
Yeah, I think what we see here early on is that they're not comfortable defending crosses, and I tell you what, when we've got Glenn Taylor in the box as well, it's dangerous.
So Spennymoor Town with an early opportunity from the corner kick. Aldershot have left 2 men forward, and the Spennymoor Town attacking line is right on the edge of the penalty area. If you remember World Cup 2018 and that love train kind of formation, it's Dolan to take this corner now. Outswinger, left-footed towards the far post. Glenn Taylor heads it back across goal towards Beals, but it's cleared by Aldershot. Shot there by McEwen. Speculative from about 25 yards out. He didn't quite get hold of that one. It just drifts harmlessly high and wide behind for an Aldershot goal kick. You won't begrudge Corey McEwen having a go from there though, will you, Ben?
No, he's in fine form. He can have a go wherever he wants.
As Aldershot take it short from the goal kick. It's played across the defence and back to Marcus Dewhurst, former Wilston goalkeeper, joined the shots at the start of the National League season that's just finished. As now Tetek goes down the left-hand side. It's to the feet of Witherington, under some pressure there from Dolan. And shots just keep hold of the ball inside their own half and play it back into the centre of the park to Dan Ellison. Aldershot with the ball on halfway, just at walking pace at present. Moors have just dropped off and allowed them to keep the ball inside their own half. It's to the number 33, Luca Woodhouse. Woodhouse goes short to Barrett and Witherington, and now out to the left-hand side there, and Tyler Frost. I think Spennymoor Town will be quite happy for Aldershot to have all the ball they want inside their own half, won't they, Ben?
Yeah, I think we'll see this a lot today. We'll just sit in a nice comfortable shape there, balanced off. They're not hurting us, so we're very comfortable here.
Yeah, shots just passing it around at the back. Witherington, former Hartlepool United man, as I mentioned. Good to see him back on the touchline. He suffered 2 strokes earlier in the campaign, Tommy Witherington, and had to take some time out of the game, but is now back in the dugout. And I know that everyone, both inside and outside of football, wish Tommy all the best in his future when it comes to his health. As Aldershot play the ball across halfway. Again, Moors structured in their setup, just happy to pass the ball across the defence. Aldershot. Moors crack on. As now Frost goes infield to Witherington. Witherington now advances into the Moors half. It's a long squared ball out to the right hand side there, and Jones looks for a man on the overlap, which is Barrett. Barrett now up by the corner flag towards the edge of the Moors area. A little ball in field, and now get it back, Will Barrett, and go back a few yards to Jones. Aaron Jones, the captain. Little ball in field, and strong challenge there. Nothing doing according to the referee. Moors can clear. Up goes Glenn Taylor. He'll win the flick on ahead of the Aldershot man, and Moors are now in possession with McEwen. Reece Staunton cuts in field and go back to Ben Beals in the centre of the Spennymoor Town defence. Moors going to play it long, looking for Glenn Taylor. It's a long headed ball, cleared by Aldershot, but it'll drop to Taylor. His touch is slightly heavy, but he manages to keep hold of it, and then whips the ball out to the right hand side. I'm not quite sure what Glenn Taylor was trying there. Ben, he tried to whip it out towards Junior Mondale, but way overhit that one.
Yeah, I think he saw the full back maybe reading that, so he's trying to put a bit of pace on it, but yeah, just caught it wrong.
as the sun beats down on the left-hand side of the pitch. We'll head down to touchline very shortly and catch up with Harry Roy as the Moors bus Graham Lee. He hasn't moved from the edge of that technical area. Tommy Witherington's just taken a bit of a break to grab a bottle of water. About 25 degrees and bright blue skies here in the capital. And despite a game being on before in the FA Vars final, which went all the way through to extra time, the pitch still looks like an absolute carpet here at Wembley as Taylor goes up for a header. Headed clear though by Aldershot, and then just launched rather aimlessly by Theo Witherington. Out for a throw on the far side. Let's head down to pitch side then. Harry Roy's keeping an eye on everything going on in the dugouts, and Graham Lee, I'm assuming, fairly happy so far, Harry?
Yeah, definitely the happier of the two managers, Matty. After Moors got that corner just a little bit earlier on, Tommy Witherington was absolutely fuming. He picked up his water bottle, threw it down on the ground. Graham Lee, very relaxed so far. His arms are behind his back, but he is wary of this left-hand side. Aldershot having a lot of look through Jack Barham and Tyler Frost so far.
Thank you, Harry. Back down to touchline over the course of the afternoon. Our reporter Harry Roy down at pitch side. One of the best seats in the house, just behind those dugouts. As you can probably tell, Aldershot are back to passing the ball around the defence. Moors quite happy in their shape to wait for Aldershot to try and attack. You're listening to BBC Radio T Sport on 95 FM, DAB Digital Radio, Freeview 712, and online via BBC Sounds. And Harry mentioned that left-hand side. Aldershot just tried to spread it out to Tyler Frost on the left, but the ball was pretty poor from the Shots defence, and it goes out for a Moors throw midway inside their own half on the right, and Ollie Dyson can take it. So is the full focus over the last couple of weeks on the training ground, Ben, been this afternoon's match and this afternoon's opposition?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we had a half chance of making the playoffs, but to be honest with you, the focus was still mostly on this cup final.
There's a long ball forwards picked up by Aldershot, and their number 27 James Henry. It's whipped in towards the middle, now headed towards goal, and it's wide. That'll be a goal kick. First real opportunity of note for Aldershot. It was whipped in from the right hand side from Henry. Arriving at the far post was Jack Barham. He beat Ben Beals to it, flicked it a good 5 to 10 yards wide. But just something for Moors to be wary of there, Ben.
Yeah, they always leave two up these, so we know that in transition they're always going to be dangerous. They score a lot of goals. So the lads are well drilled, and that won't be no surprise to them.
And I'm told, I know I asked you about the training ground, but I'm told that you've been on your jollies over the last week, haven't you? Missed training?
Yeah, I flew back late last night. Yeah, got back from Mykonos, but couldn't miss this one.
How the other half live, eh? Drinks on Ben Pollock after full time in this one. As the long ball goes forward, it's brought down by the Moors defence, and it's to the right hand side, and Dyson, who takes no chances, launched it upfield towards Ramshaw, but it was just too far away from him, and Aldershot can get back into comfortable possession in midfield. Yeah, do you know where I got that information from? And he was giving you a bit of stick.
I can only imagine Janesley.
No, your manager, Graham Lee.
I got his permission, so he can't give me any stick.
There we go. Like you, they've only been jealous. There's a long ball forward front. Aldershot drifts out for a throw in the right back spot. One for Ollie Dyson to wind up and launch into the afternoon sky. 13 minutes on the clock, not 18. As the throw-in's taken, Aldershot pick it up midfield, but then it's won back there by Corey McEwen. Tried the ball to Rob Ramshaw, but it's cut out. In quickly there was Luca Woodhouse, and Aldershot will now go all the way back to halfway. They've been very patient in their build-up, Aldershot, aren't they? They're not trying to rush anything or force anything, and Moors quite happy to be disciplined and sit there.
Yeah, they're sticking to the patterns, which seems to just start with the centre halves every time, but that suits us because we've got every player behind the ball in a very strong structure.
Remains goalless here in the FA Trophy final on BBC Radio T Sport as a ball forward finds the stocky stature of Barrett. Challenge there by Shrimpton. The referee spotted a foul, did Lewis Smith. Barrett claimed for an early doors. I think that was a fairly soft one. But it is a free kick to Aldershot, taken quickly out towards the right hand side there, and the captain, Aaron Jones. Yeah, the Moors captain Glenn Taylor, 35 today. Just the 210 goals for Spennymoor Town. He's put himself about plenty in the opening quarter of an hour here, but it remains goalless. Long ball forward to the feet of Barrett. Tries a ball out to the right hand side, and Jones into the penalty area now. He's got support there, whipped in, chipped in towards the far post. Arriving there is a Aldershot man. Crosses line quickly is Brad James, just to snuff that one out. Tyler Frost it was who diverted it back across goal. James taking no chances then, just tips it behind for Aldershot's first corner of the afternoon. As the replay comes in front of us, it was a shot on target, but one you'd always back Brad James to save there, Ben.
Yeah, near post, pretty solid, but yeah, showing signs of their patterns working a little here.
Josh Barrett it is who will come across to the Aldershot left to take this corner. There's a couple of men just pushing and shoving inside that 6-yard box close to the Spennymoor Town goalkeeper. Plenty up in attack, and it's whipped in towards the near post by Barrett. Cleared away at the front post by Rob Ramshaw, but it'll be back to the feet of Barrett. Barrett has Mondal in front of him, tries to cut in field and goes out to outside of him and Henry. Henry has a couple of Spennymoor men for company. It's back to Frost. Frost plays a long looping ball into the middle. Out quickly is Brad James. Claims that brilliantly in front of the waiting Aldershot and Spennymoor men, and he'll try a quick punt forward looking for Corey McEwen, but across well there was Aaron Jones, the Aldershot captain. Win it back, and now Aldershot are on the attack. Jones down the right hand side. Excellent challenge there by Staunton. It's a bit of a high challenge there by Jones. The assistant on the far side waved vigorously with his flag there. I think he just left it in there slightly on Staunton after a heavy touch. Staunton did really well to come across, and I think the foul was rightly given in the end, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Staunton just plays a square ball right the way across his defence to Dyson. Dyson has Mondal inside of him. Instead looks towards the waiting Glenn Taylor. Just diverted away from Taylor though, and Aldershot now back in possession. Yeah, Aldershot, you'd have to say, in the last 5 minutes so just started to grow into this one a bit more, Ben.
Yeah, like I say, they're very structured with what they do. They're very patient. Barrett seems to be the one making them tick a little, so we've got Finn stood on them there. Hopefully we can just sort of nullify him in the next 5-10 minutes, stop their momentum.
As Aldershot played across the defence, and infield comes Luca Woodhouse, but then he's forced backwards under pressure from Rob Ramshaw. Yeah, it's quite clear the patterns of play here. Moors just doing enough to nullify things at the minute. Number 34's Dayan Tutil. Plays a little ball forward looking for James Henry. Henry's had a cracking career in football. He was promoted with Oxford United the season before the one that's just finished, and dropped down to play for Aldershot. Also played for Millwall, Wolves, a few others. He has 13 we've got 13 in the National League this season. There's a long ball forward from Aldershot, harmlessly too far ahead of Tyler Frost down the left hand side. It's out for a Spennymoor Town throw. The game's just drifting a little bit at present, Ben.
Yeah, I think we can take confidence though, and a bit of see it as a bit of a compliment if they're going to force a ball long, because they do not want to be doing that.
As Aldershot win it back high up the pitch, but then it's a loose ball forward. It'll be picked up there by Dyson under pressure from Theo Widdrington. Dyson's just going to play it down the right hand side. Up goes Mondal, wins his header, but then across there is an Aldershot man to pick up the pieces, but then forward Staunton puts it through the legs of his opponent and goes around the other side, plays a little ball into the channel looking for Ramshaw. Ramshaw on the edge of the Aldershot area now, goes infield looking for Taylor. Taylor lets it run. He thought Junior Mondal was directly behind him there, Glenn Taylor. I think if you're a Moors fan, you want Glenn Taylor to hit it there on the edge of the penalty area after some good play down the left hand side.
Yeah, there's that run from Rammer again. That'll cause them problems all day.
Yeah, 400 career appearances for Moors. Rob Ramshaw picked up that accolade in the last game of the National League North season, that 1-0 win over Oxford City. Corey McEwen's goal the difference that day, but just not enough to force Moors into the playoffs, as it's prodded forward by Matty Dolan, and Ramshaw hits the deck, but nothing doing according to the referee. Forward come Aldershot. It's to Barrett on halfway. Barrett, he has Frost outside of him, a couple of men centrally if he wants to have a go. Cuts in field, does Barrett. In quickly there is Dolan to win it back for Spennymoor Town. As cool as you like, Matty Dolan, showing all of that experience of years of Football League appearances at the likes of Newport, Hartlepool United, and of course starting things out at Middlesbrough. Dolan will go central again to Shrimpton out to the right hand side now, and Dyson just inside the Aldershot half, plays it down the line for Mondal and gets it back. He's now in towards the penalty area. Is Dyson good look to pull it back? He did. He was looking for Ramshaw at the far post. It's blocked though, but Dyson will keep it in just ahead of the corner flag. Goes back a few yards to Mondal, back infield for Shrimpton, and out to the right hand side again, and Dyson will get the ball back from Mondal, and he's tackled there by Woodrington. And now Aldershot can look to counter. Barrett goes square there to Henry. James Henry just slows things down slightly and then will inject a bit of pace into it once he gets inside the Moors half. It's now towards the left hand corner of the penalty area, but there's two Moors men around him. He'll go back to Theo Woodrington. Moors just nearly creating one or two bits as we reach the 20-minute mark in this FA Trophy final. It is Aldershot 0, Spennymoor Town 0. National League versus National League North. Moors causing some problems down both flanks so far for Aldershot. Those three centre-halves and the pushed-on full-backs. I think it's going to be a ploy throughout the afternoon, Ben.
Yep, completely agree.
Aldershot now back to being patient in possession as their fans try and inject a bit of life into the atmosphere. Headed clear there by Dyson, following a little clipped ball forward. But Aldershot pick up the pieces and it will be spread out towards the right-hand side. And Aaron Jones infield there for Tettle, I should say. Down the right-hand side now is Barrett. He'll go back in field for Tettle again. Day and Tettle out to Barrett. He has Jones down the line if he can find him, Barrett, but pressure from two Spennymoor fans. Tettle then ejects a bit of pace in it, goes out to the right-hand side, and Jones again. It's a long ball into the middle. No chances taken there by Ollie Dyson. At the far post, puts it behind for Aldershot's second corner of the afternoon. Just taking no chances in defence there.
Yeah, probably the right decision, to be fair. He had someone creeping in behind him. Brad was in a bit of no man's land there.
But it's clear the aim of Aldershot to get those two full-backs, or wing-backs as they are, high up the pitch and stretch the Moors defence that way. As Josh Barrett goes across, the Aldershot number 10 to take this one. 21.5 minutes on the clock at Wembley in the FA Trophy final. Remains goalless. Barrett raises his left arm now, whips the corner in right-footed, right in towards the middle. No chances taken at the near post. That's headed behind, I think it was Rob Ramshaw in the end. That'll be his second corner in quick succession for Aldershot Town. It's definitely a congested and crowded penalty area, and they're putting all kinds of pressure on Brad James in the Moors goal from these corners. Barrett whips it in again, right-footed, right on top of James. It's going to bobble inside the box, cleared away. Woodrington tries to get out to the right-hand side. Mondal might get there first, though he does, and he just clips it down the line to Shrimpton. Shrimpton, go on, flicks it over the head of his man. He's the wrong side of the Aldershot defence. He has support in the middle from McEwen if he can find him. Shrimpton up by the edge of the area, pulls it back. Attempt on goal, it's Ramshaw. 15 yards out, and he tried to place it in the bottom corner, but could only find the waiting grasp of Marcus Dewhurst. That was tame, Ben Pollock. What an opportunity on the counter.
Yeah. That's exactly what we're waiting for, though. These are, because they're so strict with the patterns, they're going to empty the middle of the pitch, they're going to leave spaces, and we've got willing runners.
Let's go down to the touchline, because Graham Lee cut a very frustrated figure there. I think he, like us, thought it was going to be 1-0 Spennymoor Town, Harry. I will head down to the touchline in a second. The frustrated figure there of Graham Lee. I think that Ramshaw's eye was just taken off it by that defender who dived in front of him. Head in hands there from Graham Lee inside his technical area. But now the ball back in Aldershot possession as they try and play it out across the defence again. 23 minutes gone. Rob Ramshaw with the biggest opportunity of the game on 23 minutes there. Just couldn't get enough power on his effort, and it was fairly easy in the end. Around about 15 yards out, cut back brilliantly by Shrimpton. As Moors clear upfield, but it's only straight to an Aldershot man. It's now with Barrett. He's advancing towards the edge of the penalty area. Going to try right-footed shot towards goal. Excellent save. Brad James tried a curling effort towards the top left-hand corner. James shuffled across his line, takes no chances, palms it behind for an Aldershot corner.
Brad James bread and butter that. Back him all day to save things like that.
Yeah. James, who missed the semi-final with a shoulder injury, and Ryan Luther, who came in on loan from Derby County, was ultimately the hero, showing his worth here this afternoon already, as the Aldershot fans are buoyed by that opportunity. Josh Barrett, who's managed to 16 goals this season with the attempt on target, probably Aldershot's best opportunity of the afternoon so far. Barrett's now gone across to take this corner in towards the middle now. It's a long deep one towards the head of Widdrington, heads it up, out comes James, claims that ahead of everyone. Excellent strong work from the Spennymoor Town goalkeeper. What's Brad James like to play in front of? Because of course you're a centre half, Ben. You'll have played with him plenty this season and in times gone by as well, I'm guessing. And he just seems to be a calming presence in that goal.
Honestly, it just gives you peace of mind, because you know it's hard sometimes as a centre half where you feel like you can't let any sort of opportunity in. But sometimes if they do get in, we actually back him to save one-on-ones, penalties, whatever it is. He's showed it time and time again.
He was a hero for Hartlepool United at Ashton Gate a couple of years ago, as Graham Lee hands the ball to Ollie Dyson to take this throw in. Cut a frustrated figure a couple of minutes ago though, didn't he, Harry Roy?
Yes, he certainly did, Matty. Ian Clark, the assistant Spennymoor Town boss, was also on his feet as well. What a chance that was.
And Harry, here comes Junior Mondal. Whips it into the middle, it's cleared away as far as Ramshaw on the edge of the area, but he just can't get it under his spell. Sorry there, Harry, had to cut you off with Moores on the attack.
Yes, no problem at all, Matty. What's really interesting is the battle between Glenn Taylor and the three centre-halves. Real battle. They're trying to get that ball long into him, aren't they?
They certainly are, as Staunton comes down the left-hand side, finds the feet of Ramshaw, tries to get a ball across, looking for the run of Mondal, blocked there by the Aldershot defence and launched into the afternoon sky up towards halfway, where Ben Beals won the header there somehow, despite the fact that Jack Barham was just backing into him and meant that he lost his balance. Moores now in comfortable possession. Brad James it is who launches it into the Aldershot half, flicked on well by Taylor, but just diverted out of the run of McEwen in the process. McEwen in bright green boots. Do you often think when it's a luminous colours like that, Ben, you've got to be some footballer to back up having boots of that colour?
Oh yeah, and they're brand spankers then, because he never had them in the National League North. He's brought them out for Wembley.
It is a real theatre of football, this place. You think some of the greats have graced this field. And these two sides in the FA Trophy for the first time, hoping to make history of their own. As you come into the press area, there's quotes from Pele, Muhammad Ali, Serena Wiegman, the current England women's boss, Gareth Southgate and others, about how iconic a stadium this is. Little old Spennymoor Town have the chance to write their name in the history books this afternoon. Remains goalless on 27 minutes. As it's played across the defence by Aldershot. Just calm in possession again are the shots. Forward comes the number 33, Luca Woodhouse, gets the ball back there and he'll stride into midfield now, goes square to Barrett. Barrett under a bit of pressure there from Staunton, who'd come in field, and then Moores win it back, but Barrett gets a foot in there to deny Ramshaw run into the Aldershot half, and the Shots have it back with Tettle. Tettle goes back and Aldershot will look to start again across the defence as we approach the half-hour mark. Long ball forward looking for Widdrington. It's now diverted out to the left-hand side, and Frost goes infield. He'll look for a square ball to James Henry. Henry will go across to the defender who's come out in Dan Ellison, and out to the right-hand side now in Jones. Another sting taken out of it for the moment, but now Aldershot will go central, and Barham back towards halfway. Moores just patient and stubborn in their setup, denying the space and then winning it back through Shrimpton inside his own half. Goes back a few yards for Ollie Dyson as maybe Moores look to get their foot on the ball a little bit after enduring a couple of minutes of Aldershot possession. It's a square ball out towards the left hand side and a chance for Staunton to stretch his legs. Strides into the Aldershot half, looks to knock it past his man and win it ahead of the Aldershot man, but he can't do so. Across comes the number 35 Ellison, but then Staunton's done well to win it back. He'll look to get an early ball in the middle, cleared away, back to Staunton though. He'll get there ahead of the Aldershot defender. Go back a few yards in field for McEwen. Looks for the feet of Taylor, who'll hold it up on the edge of the penalty area. Back a few yards for Dolan. 35 yards out. Looks play. Little ball around the back, and arriving there was Ramshaw. How quickly was Dewhurst to deny him? It was a deft ball through the smallest of gaps from Matty Dolan. Rob Ramshaw read it like a book. So, unfortunately, from a Moors point of view, did Marcus Dewhurst in the Aldershot goal.
Yeah, another
what
good
a ball.
Yeah, really good. That's Matty Dolan down to the tee, that though.
Mondal denies Frost down the left hand side, but just patient again in their possession there were Moors. Very nearly paid off.
Even out of possession, I think, because we're being so patient. Even like when the ball is going wide, we're not really like expecting a ball in the box what's now, so just creep up, keep our shape. We're not really jumping out anywhere. Even when they got in a second ago, Junior actually read it and it went under his foot, so we're starting to read their triggers a little now.
There's a long ball crossfield from Aldershot's cut out by Moors, and McEwen will get there ahead of a couple of Aldershot men. One of them is Barrett. He'll go back infield to Staunton. Plays a little 1-2 there with Matty Dolan, does Reece Staunton. And a little ball down the left hand side looking for Taylor, picked up by Dolan, goes infield looking for Taylor again. And it's just read there at the vital moment by the Aldershot defence. He'll come clear with Luca Woodhouse. Now down the left hand side is Frost, infield there for Widrington. Widrington asks for some options, goes central to Henry. Moors now back in defensive positions, and Aldershot will play the ball across the midfield. Just past the half-hour mark remains Aldershot 0, Spennymoor Town 0, which you'd have to say is a fair reflection, but Moors have created the more cutting edge of the chances. Rob Ramshaw the closest for Spennymoor Town, although Barrett did force a good save from Brad James. Aldershot now working up towards the edge of the area. Barrett play a little 1-2 with Widrington, forced backwards though from the press of Spennymoor Town, and Aldershot will be patient and go back to Woodhouse in the defence again. Yeah, they're not too bothered about going backwards and trying to work it a brand new opportunity here, Aldershot, are they, Ben?
No, not at all. I mean, they're making the pitch so big, which is hard for the lads, but like you say, they're not really going anywhere. As long as we can keep our discipline and energy levels stay good. Obviously it's a hot day, we can keep shuffling across, then they aren't going to hurt us. But there's another long ball which doesn't really come to anything there. We take confidence in that.
Dyson gets it back from Mondal and just launches down the right hand side. Moors striker Glenn Taylor will battle away there, but it'll go out for an Aldershot throw. A decent chunk of Glenn Taylor's shirt there did Luca Woodhouse. Nothing doing according to the referee though. I think he thought it was 6-1, doesn't the other. You listen to BBC Radio T Sport. Around about 13 minutes to go until half time. So long ball forward finds Jones around the back of the Spennymoor Town defence. He just can't take it into his stride and is forced backwards. A good foot in there from McEwen, back doing his defensive duties, and Moors can clear. It's picked up by Staunton. Staunton pulls his man back up, and that is going to be a free kick. I don't think there could be many complaints about that one. Aldershot free kick, slightly right of centre, 10 yards inside the Moors half, and they've taken it short and quickly. Playing it back across the defence. The BBC Radio T Sport final commentary of the 2024-25 season this afternoon. We've brought you every kick of Middlesbrough and Hartlepool United season. It's all rounded off this afternoon at Wembley in the FA Trophy final, where Aldershot Town are the opposition for Spennymoor Town. Both sides in the trophy final for the very first time. Moors having already knocked out 3 National League teams on their way to the final, looking to go one better and all come back to the northeast with a bit of silverware. It's Aldershot in possession at the minute. On halfway with Frost, who's under pressure immediately from Junior Mondal. The Aldershot fans have been quite patient with their sides play. It's clearly a set-up and a style that they're used to, as they pass it around in midfield looking for the odd opening. Long ball forward from Widrington looking for Barham. Barham brings it down on his chest, hooks it infield, headed clear though by Shrimpton, and it'll be brought down well by Ramshaw. No, he just can't get it under his control, under a bit of pressure from Theo Widrington, and then Mondal will force Widrington all the way back to his goalkeeper Marcus Dewhurst, and Aldershot look to come again. 11 minutes or so till the break, remains goalless. 95 FM, DAB digital radio, BBC Sounds and Freeview channels 714. Now Aldershot come down the left hand side with Frost. Good foot in there from Junior Mondal, and then the attempted clearance from Dyson goes out, and it'll be an Aldershot throw just level with the edge of the Moors penalty area. The National League side just enjoying an extended spell of possession here. But the Hartlepool United connections in the dugouts of Widdrington and Lee, former teammates, nothing to separate their two sides at the moment. There's a ball into the middle's cut out easily there by Dyson, and Moors will look to come down the right hand side with Mondal. Little ball in field to Rob Ramshaw. His 401st appearance, tries a little through ball looking for McEwen, just read at the vital moment there by the Aldershot 36, Will Armitage. As now Aldershot come down the right hand side. Jones going to look to whip it in, right footed towards the middle. It's right the way through the area. Come out to Frost actually on this left hand touchline. He'll give it to the feet of Barrett, man who stung the palms of Brad James on 25 minutes. But Aldershot trying to make this Wembley pitch as big as possible for Spennymoor Town with those wing backs right on the touchline. Chalk on their boots, as they say. Shots now just passing it around in midfield, and Spennymoor quite happy to be stubborn in their positions. As Dyson clears away following a pass towards the Aldershot forwards, and Shots will work it down the left hand side. It's then a clearance though by Moors that's picked up by McEwen. Dolan finds the feet there of Staunton, tries a ball over the top looking for Ramshaw. He's got the wrong side of the defence. Onside according to the official on this near side. Rob Ramshaw, he's asking for some support on the edge of the area. Is Corey McEwen, takes a touch in the area now, right footed shot. He slipped as he hit it, and it's just harmlessly wide of Marcus Dewhurst's goal. Glenn Taylor was up there in support. Corey McEwen cut in on his right foot, but he just slipped at the vital moment and couldn't wrap his foot around it, could he, Ben?
No, but again, there's that run from Rama. Again, they're emptying the pitch, aren't they? They're taking so much time and they're making the pitch so big, but you can't do both. You can't make the pitch massive and have all the ball, and then on the flip side, defend well. So obviously they're showing us what they want to do, but that's suiting us absolutely fine.
Yeah, nothing to split these teams as we tick past the 36-minute mark in the FA Trophy final. Spennymoor Town, you'd have to say, with the biggest opportunity. That man Rob Ramshaw with it as well. The ball goes out there off Jack Barham after he hit the deck. He wanted a free kick, but the assistant was a matter of 2-3 yards away from the Aldershot man and said absolutely not, nothing wrong with that. It'll be a throw into Spennymoor Town just up from the edge of their own penalty area after that long ball forward. As the adverts go around here, the FA Cup final, which is here next Saturday, Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. As the long ball forward from Moors is won back by Aldershot just inside the Spennymoor half, and they'll go all the way back into midfield and again look to pass it around the defence. 8 minutes to the break here. We'll go down to the touchline in a couple of seconds and see what's happening down there. Shots just very patient and passive in the way they're playing at the minute, because Moors are quite happy to sit in, and Shrimpton gives away a free kick on halfway, but again it's across the defence. A couple of Aldershot men warm up on the side of the Wembley turf. They'll again set up a familiar pattern with players ahead of them making runs, and we'll just pass it across that defence, and then a ball out towards the far side looking for Jones, is intercepted, but then Moors just give it straight back, unfortunately, to the National League team. But let's head down to the touchline, because Graham Lee hasn't moved an inch from that technical area throughout this first half. He's barking out regular instructions to his side, but I'm assuming he'll be fairly satisfied.
Yeah, I think so, and it says a lot for what's on the line here, Matty. He is so relaxed compared to Tommy Widdington in the other dugout. He's absolutely fuming with his players at the minute, but when you just look at the Spennymoor Town bench, Will Harris and Aidan Rutledge before had their feet up behind the chair behind them. They seem relaxed. I don't know about the Spennymoor Town players on the pitch, though. I think they're a little bit more nervous than that.
Thanks, Harry. Now Aldershot on the attack down the right hand side. It's Jones up by the edge of the Spennymoor penalty, cuts inside of Staunton, goes central to Barrett on 25 yards. Barrett regains his foot and then strikes towards goal. Comfortable enough in the end for Brad James in the Spennymoor Town goal. But Barrett showed that he's a bit of a live wire in this first half, Ben. He's just picked up those pockets of space and caused one or two problems for Spennymoor Town.
Yeah, he goes into spaces where it's sort of a grey area for the centre halves to follow. Is it the centre mid's responsibility? But this, obviously they go through him for everything pretty much.
There's a long balls into the Aldershot half. The referee says nothing doing, but I mean, Glenn Taylor was flat on his front with an Aldershot man on top of him. How that wasn't given, I'm not too sure. Taylor was battling away with the centre half, and the referee's just saying it was both of you are at it. Graham Lee's saying surely one's at it more than another, with my striker on the deck and the defender down on top of him. It goes out eventually for a throw, and it's out off an Aldershot man for another Spennymoor Town throw, this time about 15 yards inside the Shots half. Ollie Dyson will just edge his way down this touchline past his manager and the Aldershot manager to take this throw in. On the touchline, gives it to the chest there of Shrimpton and then tries to keep it in, does Dyson, but it's given away to Henry. Aldershot will look to counter. Here comes James Henry driving at the heart of the Moors defence. He has men up in support. Henry then try right-footed shot. He's skied it well over the top of Brad James's goal, but a bit of a mix-up there between Shrimpton and Dyson. Cause things to be a little bit dicey for Moors, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. I think to be fair, their better chances really are coming from maybe a little bit of sloppiness from us, and I think in general build-up we're probably only a little bit of care, a little bit of detail away from maybe finding a little bit more of an opening.
As James comes to the edge of his 6-yard box and places the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box. Just 4 minutes to go, plus any additional time in this first half. It remains Aldershot Town 0, Spennymoor Town 0 here on BBC Radio T Sport in the FA Trophy final. Taylor wins a brilliant header there in midfield and flicks it on, but it's cleared forward again by Aldershot. Then off the head of Ledger, and one or two ironic cheers from the Moors fans who are at our left as Barham's penalised have been all over the back of Michael Ledger. Atmosphere and the game just died down a little bit here as we advance towards the half-time break. Ledger will launch a long one up towards the edge of the Aldershot penalty area, headed away by the Shots, brought infield there by Dolan, but cleared away by Aldershot again. It's with Tettle there in midfield, and Aldershot will come all the way back to Dewhurst in his own 6-yard box. He'll launch it long left-footed upfield up towards the head of Barham, who heads it up rather than on, but it's up and dropped on the head of Barrett, and forward come Aldershot down the right hand side with Jones. Jones cuts in field of Staunton. Was he fouled there, Staunton? Not according to the referee. Forward come Aldershot. Barrett looks to cut in field from Shrimpton but can't do so, and Moors in possession on halfway with Ramshaw. Goes back a few yards for Staunton. The ball down the left hand channels looking for McEwen. He wins the header there ahead of the Aldershot man, who just about manages to smuggle it back to Dewhurst. The clearance upfield there has missed 3-4 players and falls to Ben Beals on halfway, who comes striding into the Aldershot half. And down the left is Staunton, whips a ball in towards the middle, headed clear though by Aldershot. It'll be held up there well by Barrett, who then tries a long lofted ball forward looking for Barham. Over the top, out comes James to the edge of his area, taking no chances, just launches it high into the afternoon sky. It's brought down there by the number 27, James Henry. Henry out by the touchline on the far side, up by the corner flag now. Looks to cut in field of Staunton, goes back a few yards for Jones. Jones in field there for Tettle, now back with Henry. Henry towards the edge of the area, and Barrett lets it run for Theo Widrington. Widrington 30 yards out, tries a long range effort straight into the waiting grasp of Brad James on his goal line. Never really troubled the Moors goalkeeper. But I tell you what, Ben, I am surprised in this first half. The one part of the ground that's still bathed in that gorgeous afternoon sunshine as we just past 5 o'clock is the goal of Brad James. Yet he hasn't gone old school and wore the cap, has he, in this first half?
No, he'd do us all a favour if he did wear a cap, because he's got the worst trim out the full changing room.
And I have seen one or two comments about Brad's haircut. I'll tell you what, he can have any haircut he wants if he's a hero this afternoon, and Moors come away with the FA trophy.
Absolutely.
whether it looks like it's been done at the butcher's or not.
I think he does it on purpose, to be honest with you. He loves getting battered off the lads.
Now forward come Moores, a lovely ball around the corner for Ramshaw, up by the edge of the penalty area, looked square for Taylor, just cut out at the vital moment there by the Aldershot defence. Good play between Ramshaw and Taylor, but now Aldershot could spring a counter to the number 34 Tettle. Held up well there by Staunton, but he's got away from two Moores men in the end. Tettle strides into the Spennymoor half. Out on the right hand side now is Henry. James Henry looking to come in onto his left as he stumbles, goes square for Tettle again. Inside the area, tries a shot, half blocked, and then Moores can clear through Ledger up towards halfway. Just 30 seconds plus added time left in this first half, but it's Aldershot on the attack. Tettle out to the right hand side now, and Jones, and the shots will look to come back towards halfway. I thought Aldershot were going to be able to get a shot on goal away there, but nothing doing in the end. As the clock ticks around towards 45 minutes, the fourth official comes out towards the edge of his area. He'll be down at the touchline in a second to find out how much stoppage time's added on. Harry, what's it looking like at the end of this first half in terms of stoppage time?
Yes, 1 minute to go, as you just hear on the PA announcement. Graham Lee still very calm here on the touchline. Ian Clark every now and then just giving a little bit of advice, but you compared to the other dugout, Tommy Woodrick, like we were saying before, not painting the happiest of pictures so far, but less than a minute to go here.
Yes, thanks Harry. Around about 40 seconds of that minute of additional time left in this first half as Aldershot try and spread play out towards the right hand side again, but out quickly was Staunton to head it for an Aldershot throw. As we approach the break, Ben, what do you think Graham Lee will have made of this first half?
I think he'll be happy. I mean, the gaffer's very, the biggest thing for him is working off a strong structure, working hard. I think there's absolutely no question about that. They haven't broke us down really in any sort of open play. They've had half chances at Classic, but definitely not carved us open. So I think they'll be happy, and we've showed that we're gonna get chances.
And there you have it, half time here at Wembley in the FA Trophy final. And it's Aldershot Town 0, Spennymoor Town 0. The biggest opportunity, you'd probably have to say, came on 23 minutes when Moores worked it brilliantly down the right hand side. It was cut back by Finlay Shrimpton towards Rob Ramshaw. I nearly call him Rab Ramshaw every time. It's like a tongue twister, isn't it? Rob Ramshaw, who arrived on 12 yards, and he just couldn't get enough power into his strike with the defender diving just in front of him, and it was easily saved in the end by Marcus Dewhurst. They've stung the palms a couple of times at Brad James in the Spennymoor Town goal of Aldershot through Barrett and through Widrington and one or two others, but a fairly even first 45 minutes here in the FA Trophy final. You wouldn't think there's a league's difference between these two sides, and at the break it's Aldershot 0, Spennymoor Town 0.
Matty, thank you. Ben, just your final thoughts at the end of that first half. Spoke to Graham Lee in midweek, and he said transitions, that's where we're going to get at them. We know we'll have periods where they have the ball for long spells, but on those transitions is when we need to hurt them. And this afternoon we've seen moments like that, haven't we, where they've tried to counter and get up the field quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said on the commentary earlier, you can't have it both ways. If you're going to empty the pitch and you're going to work to patterns and you're going to have both your wide men on the touchline, then there's going to be space. So as soon as you give that ball away, if we can find that first pass, don't get me wrong, there's been times where we've won it and we can't find that first pass because they're smothering, but if we can get it, find that first pass, there's gaps everywhere. And one thing we've got is real willing runners. Rammer will run all day, Corey Jr. Tails, I think, is doing a great job at just occupying all three centre halves, and what that's allowing us to do is keep them narrow for them runs for Rammer, for them runs for Corey and Junior, and then it's all getting backed up. The midfield are doing a really good job because Barrett's dropping in some awkward positions. Again, I said it earlier, he's in a grey area where the centre half don't want to jump out, but again the midfield don't want to come back and sit on their toes, so they've done really well to sort of occupy him. But I think that's our game plan. I mean, obviously, if you've watched us through the season, we're better in a situation like this when we're working from a solid shape, and we'll shuffle, we'll work, we'll stay structured all day. That's the gaffer's, that's his bread, that's his identity as a team. So I think this game suits us. I think we're in a real good position. They're going to have to commit more to get a goal, and that can only work in our favour because we never really leak loads of goals. These do, because they have to come out. and I think we're in a great position. We've showed that we're going to get chances, and that'll worry them. And going into the changing room now, I'd much rather be a Spennymoor player than an Aldershot player.
And on that, there, as Ben says, Aldershot do have a leaky defence. 18 goals are conceded in their last the last 6 games of the season. That's 3 goals a game on average. So if Spennymoor Town can find a way through, the floodgates might open.
And just a final word, Ben, and appreciate your time, appreciate you being with us. Great to have you and your insight with us this afternoon on BBC Radio T Sport. Glenn Taylor, I remember him saying about the game, the semi-final against Rochdale, and he said, I was frustrated because they marked me out of the game, and that's why he wanted to step up and take the first penalty and have an impact in the game. But he's had to really fight for what he's had so far in this game, but that won't bother him at all, will it? It's not going to knock his confidence. He knows that when his moment comes, he'll back himself to take it.
Yeah, listen, Tails is a special player, and honestly, like the fact Spennymoor have done a great job of keeping him over the years, because he's unbelievable. He could have played at any sort of level he wanted to. But you're right. I mean, he's a captain. He's a leader. He's unbelievable at what he does. And Tails needs one chance. He doesn't need a handful. And to be honest, you could argue he doesn't need a chance. He could do it off a half chance, and he'll make something himself. But like I say, he's our captain. He's our leader. He'll happily play the next 45 minutes or extra time, doing the exact same job, trying to occupy people, trying to work off half chances, flicks, trying to bring other people into the game. He'll do that all day, and if he can get a half chance, he's a game winner, and he's such a special player, and he's massive, because I know what the changing room will be like in there. He'll be loud, he'll be rallying the troops. I mean, something that maybe you don't see, which obviously I can give you a bit of insight in, is the changing room itself. Like, him and Tails and Rama are unbelievable. They run the changing room. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be in last year when James Curtis was in there as well. One thing that sort of, I played for Spennymoor last year. I left in the summer, and I've come back, and it's just a special club. And the biggest thing about it is the changing room. They've been there for years. Like you say, Rama 400 games, Tails 200 odd goals. They're the backbone of this club, and this is amazing for them, because if there's any 2 people in football that I've worked with who deserve a day like today, it's these 2, and honestly, I can't speak highly enough of them.
Ben, great to have you for that first half, enjoying the analysis. Let's go down to Harry Roy, because Harry all game long has been keeping a close eye on both dugouts. Harry, as the teams made their way off the pitch there, just past you're situated right next to the tunnel, so probably got a good view as the teams made their way into the dressing room.
Yeah, it was really interesting what Ben was saying there, talking about Glenn Taylor being a legend and someone who the players look up to, a real calming influence. But I thought it was really interesting there when the players all came off the pitch. It was a lot of Spennymoor Town players looked very, very relaxed, but Glenn Taylor and Matty Dolan both shaking their heads as they were coming down the tunnel, clearly frustrated with that first half, despite Spennymoor Town, like Ben and like yourself have said, Matty, having the better first half and probably feeling a lot more comfortable going into the break. The sun has just about cleared from the left-hand side of me, the Moors fans, the last few of them still baking in the sunshine. But I don't know whether this will play into the Moors' favour or not at all, but Aldershot were attacking into the sun. That half didn't really cause Brad James any bother at all, barring a few chances. Graham Lee was a calming influence throughout that first half, Rob, and I think that's what you need when there's so much at stake. Compared to what we've seen with Tommy Widrington, it was something that I mentioned throughout the half. He was so frustrated, painted such an animated figure.
You could see him going through his water bottles. He must have went through about 5 water bottles that were sent the journey over the advertising boards.
Well, it's funny, I think he was doing his best Stuart Pearce impression, who's just stood right next to me right now, but Widrington's got about 4 or 5 water bottles there, and I think in rotation he's just throwing each one of them. So not the greatest of first halves for Aldershot, but I think Spennymoor Town will be very, very happy. Glenn Taylor might be a little bit frustrated. It seems like that's going to be a really, really good battle between those 3 defenders, Luca Woodhouse, Dan Ellison and Will Armitage. They're all big lads. Taylor's 6'4", but they're going to try and get him into the game a little bit more. One thing I did notice as well, Rob, is that Graham Lee was trying to get Rob Ramshaw into the game a little bit more, wanting to come in a little bit deeper, just to try and get that ball forward into those wing players, Corey McKeon and Junior Mondell. Mondell's a player that I've been keeping an eye on throughout the half. Graham Lee's been giving him a lot of coaching, keen on wanting him to track back. Clearly sees that Aldershot have a threat down that left hand side It was something that they were trying to impose on Moor Stoutley half, not to much avail, but that is definitely something to keep an eye on. In terms of the managers versus the fourth official, Graham Lee, not a very happy man with the fourth official. I think it's very similar to what we saw in the FA Vase final, Rob, where the referee is just letting a lot more go, and that's angering the two managers, but it makes for fantastic viewing. So yeah, like referees let a lot go. A lot of frustration throughout the first half from both of the managers, but I think, like I've said, from a Spennymoor Town perspective, they are just trying to keep things relaxed, keeping a lid on it, because I think if you go out there and you're very animated like Tommy Widdrington is, I don't think that does the players any good. Ian Clark every now and then just chipping in and when he needs to getting involved, but nothing like you see on the Aldershot bench. And like I mentioned during the commentary with Matty, it says a lot when Aidan Rutledge and Will Harris, who are on the bench this afternoon for Moors, are sat there with their feet up. So let's hope that it's going to be a fantastic second half for Spennymoor Town, but I'd like to say so far so good here on the touchline.
Harry doing a fantastic job, thank you very much. Harry Roy with us down in the technical area, keeping a watchful eye on both Graham Lee and Tommy Widdrington in the technical areas, like two grizzled heavyweights going at it toe-to-toe in the dugouts. Right, we will have more second half commentary to come, of course, with Matty Nixon and with Ben Pollock. If you want to get involved with us this afternoon, it's always great to hear from you. At BBCT Sport is where we are on X. You can also text 81333 and start the message with the word tease, or you can drop us an email, tease.sport@bbc.co.uk. We're going to run through all of the full-time scores from around the country, up and down the leagues after this.
Scott Makin on BBC Radio Tees.
Well, what about this? Recently on the show we had 80s legend Lamar.
I would go out at 14 years old, spend all day either cutting privets or washing cars or delivering newspapers or bread. And I remember my dad saying to me, "You've been out all day working and you've gone to the record shop and spent it on that single." I was so excited walking into that shop. What am I going to buy? And looking at the chart. I've never really lost that, really. Technology just makes us enjoy music even more.
Scott Makin.
Weekday afternoons from 2
on BBC Radio Tees. Proud to support our local football teams.
BBC Radio Tees
Sport.
So here we are at Wembley Stadium in the final of the FA Trophy. It's Aldershot 0, it's Spennymoor Town 0, but the best chance of the game so far has fallen the way of the Moors.
Widdrington tries to get out to the right-hand side. Mondal might get there first, though he does, and he just clips it down the line to Shrimpton. Go on. Flicks it over the head of his man. He's the wrong side of the Aldershot defence. He has support in the middle from McEwen if he can find him. Shrimpton up by the edge of the area, pulls it back. Attempt on goal, it's Ramshaw. 15 yards out, and he tried to place it in the bottom corner, but could only find the waiting grasp of Marcus Dewhurst. That was tame, Ben Pollock. What an opportunity on the counter.
Yeah. That's exactly what we're waiting for, though. They're going to leave spaces. We've got willing runners.
The thoughts of Matty Nixon and Ben Pollock describing that one. What a moment that would have been, but we have a second 45 to come. 0-0 at the break. Elsewhere this afternoon in the Premier League, full-time scores: Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0, West Ham 2, Nottingham Forest 2, Leicester 2, Tottenham 0, Crystal Palace 2, and Liverpool against Arsenal, still playing there at the end of the first half. Liverpool 2, Arsenal 0. Into the League One playoff semi-finals. That one gets underway at 6:30 tonight. They're playing in League 2 though, also a playoff semi-final. Chesterfield 0, Walsall 2 is your final score.
BBC Radio Tees Sport.
Yes, second half commentary to come. The shadows have moved right across the pitch. There is just a little corridor of sunlight which is surrounding the penalty box away to our left. The rest of the pitch is in the shadows of the stands, the bowl that is the nation's stadium. The fans heading to get some half-time refreshments and take the pictures, the moments that I'm sure will last a lifetime for many of these football fans this afternoon. Now, we wanted to play you this today because sat along from us, just about 5 seats to my left, is Spennymoor Town press officer Mark Simpson. Now, Mark is pretty well known amongst North East football scene, having previously worked as the press officer at Hartlepool United for many years. Well, as if he doesn't have enough on his plate, Mark has also set up a charity to honour his late father. The aim is to give a helping hand to the next generation of North East cricketers in the memory of Peter Lee stalwart Roy Simpson.
My dad had a battle with dementia the last 5 years and sadly passed away in September on his 82nd birthday. But during the years where he'd been failing with dementia and living up to the battle with that, one of the thoughts in my head was how we could, maintain his legacy, because my dad was a huge person across the North East cricket scene. In fact, still today, if I introduce myself, someone will say, "Are you Roy's son?" Because
You're Roy. Yes.
He left an imprint. So I just thought, I wonder whether we can do something. I didn't think setting up a charity was feasible, if I'm being honest. I thought the hurdles would be too tall. But in March we were able to get registered status, and we're really looking forward to making a difference across cricket in the area as a whole.
Dementia's a cruel disease, isn't it?
Dementia's a shocking disease, yeah, really, really bad. We learnt a lot about it, probably more than we ever wanted to learn in the last 5 or 6 years. Initially, when I was talking about the charity and thinking about it, I was wondering whether we should do something towards dementia, but my dad's passion wasn't dementia, my dad's passion was cricket. When he passed away, I went into the care home a couple of days later, and one of the gentlemen whose wife is in there as a patient as well, and he just said, "Mark, forget the last 5 years, that wasn't your dad, mate." And that's pretty much stuck on my head, a little bit, because he created so much joy for people and left such a big imprint during his life across cricket, education, judiciary. He got an MBE in 2015 for the amount of impact he had across our region. So he made me very proud, he made all the family very proud, and we wanted to do something to reciprocate.
What sort of things do you want to do in your dad's name?
Well, my dad was really, really passionate about youth cricket, in particular, development of younger players. He loved nothing more than seeing youngsters enjoying the game that he loved.
He'd have watched a few young, good cricketers come through.
Yeah, and me.
Some good cricketers and you, Mark.
Pretty much, yes, pretty much. But no, my dad, when I was growing up, and I didn't realise the contribution he was making, the things he was giving up, but he was basically everything to the under-13s, under-15s, under-18s teams at Peter Lee Cricket Club for decades.
And that is Mark Simpson speaking to us earlier this week, speaking to Gary Phillipson. You can hear that full interview on BBC Sounds. Mark Simpson, who is here this afternoon representing Spennymoor Town as the press officer and creating that charity there to honour his late father, Roy Simpson, who, if you know your North East cricket, Roy Simpson will be a name you may be familiar with, as we describe him as the Peter Lee stalwart that he was. Right, the teams are back out on the pitch. Spennymoor Town against Aldershot, 0-0 at half-time. The second 45 is about to get underway. We will have a winner sooner or later. Back over to Ben Pollock and Matty Nixon.
Thank you very much, Rob. Just underway for this second half as a long ball forwards headed in field by Glenn Taylor. Be held up there well by Junior Montal, but Aldershot win it back and clear it up towards halfway. I mean, you could just talk amongst yourselves if you want. I've just managed to get my hands on some ice cream as a long ball forwards flicked on looking for Taylor again, cleared away by the Aldershot defence. Yeah, I managed to get my hands on some ice cream there at the break, Ben.
Yeah, I saw you were man-marking the buffet.
Don't even call it a buffet, it's a smash and grab in my eyes. As it's out for a Moore's throw on this near side. It's taken to the feet of McEwen, and then they'll look for the feet of Glenn Taylor on the edge of the area. Hits the deck, Glenn Taylor. Look for a foul, not given by the referee, Lewis Smith, and now Aldershot will come away. No changes at the start of the second half. I'll take you through the teams in the next kind of break in play. It remains goalless here at Wembley. As Aldershot slow it down to a walking pace. Let's bring you the teams again. Brad James in goal for Spennymoor Town. A back four of Ollie Dyson, Michael Ledger, Ben Beals and Rhys Staunton. Two holding midfielders are Matty Dolan and Finn Shrimpton, with Junior Mondale, Rob Ramshaw and Corey McEwen in support of Glenn Taylor up top. As for Aldershot, who launch a long ball forward through the goalkeeper Dewhurst, that's going to drift harmlessly behind for a goal kick to Spennymoor Town for Brad James to take. As for Aldershot, they have Marcus Dewhurst in goal, three centre-halves of Luca Woodhouse, Dan Ellison, Will Armitage, right wing backs Tyler Frost, left wing backs the captain Aaron Jones, and then there's Dayan Tetek, Theo Widrington as the holding midfielders, with James Henry in support of Josh Barrett and Jack Barham up top. As the Aldershot fans do their best to try and put Brad James off this goal kick. Couldn't quite make out what they said there, Ben. Not on radio anyway. As Moors pick up possession following that long goal kick, and it's with Ramshaw. He's going to drive towards the penalty area, plays a square ball, looking for Taylor, cleared by the Aldershot defence. Now Aldershot will look to counter. It's with Henry towards the right hand side of the box, plays it across to Barham. It's going to square in. Barham got there at the far post. He reached it ahead of Dyson. He's got the slightest of touches, diverted it into the bottom corner past Brad James. And just moments into this second half, the red and blue of Aldershot erupt because the National League side take the lead. It's Jack Barham with the goal, his third of the season in the trophy. And it's Aldershot Town 1, Spennymoor Town 0. And Ben, that just squirmed past Brad James. I thought for a second that Dyson at the far post was going to be able to get there ahead of Barham, but he just beat him to the punch and diverted past James.
Yeah, it's, to be fair to Ollie, it's a hard one for him to deal with. He's coming off his blind side. But to be fair, again though, like I said in the first half, we've only really got ourselves to blame in a situation like that. We've attacked. And we've done what I've said they're doing, and we've emptied the pitch, especially the middle of the park, and then you won't pass away from danger.
As we'll head down to the touchline in just a second, as the Aldershot players retreat back towards their own half. Disappointed looks from one side of the technical areas, Harry. Delighted from the other.
Yeah, well, that's cheered up. Tommy Ruddington, Graham Lee was just scratching his neck there. He turned around to his bench, just couldn't believe what he saw there. But just looking at some individuals on the pitch when that ball went in, Matty Dolan straight away back to the centre circle, willing the players on it. It's the same with Finlay Shrimpton, a young player absolutely, but they still believe here, Spennymoor Town, they show good mentality.
Thanks, Harry. Well, they've done things the hard way in previous rounds of Spennymoor Town, including in the semi-finals against Rochdale. They're going to have to do it the hard way if they're to win here this afternoon. But they're on the attack down the right-hand side with Shrimpton, whipped in towards the middle, just too far away from Glenn Taylor though, and easy enough for Dewhurst to come out. He rolls it out to James Henry, under pressure immediately from Staunton, blocked by Staunton as he looked to play it down the right-hand side. Henry out for a Aldershot throw, midway inside their own half. And if you're in the pitch now and you've got Graham Lee on the sideline there, what are you saying to Moors to try and just calm things down and get back into this one?
Yeah, well, it is just that, and like you said there, it's your likes of Tails, it's your likes of Rama, Matty Dolan now to just sort of, when you score or concede a goal, the most vital period is the next five minutes. So, you know, it's important that we don't let the game slip from us now. We don't have to go and score immediately. We just got to play our game. We might have to open up a little. Gaffer might be looking at the bench now and saying, right, we're going to have to commit a little more. But like you said, we've been in similar situations. We've been in harder situations than this in the build up to this game. So I don't think it'll bother us too much.
The thoughts there of Ben Pollock, Spennymoor Town defender, who's unfortunately cup-tied today, joins us here in our commentary position as the Aldershot fans are in fine voice following that opener for their side on 48 minutes. The ball forward to Taylor. Taylor just tries to give it to McEwen, but it's cleared away. And Barham got there ahead of Beals. Beals tripped his man. Free kick to Aldershot just inside the Spennymoor half. And I tell you what, You wouldn't have thought there was 18,000 of them in that first half with the atmosphere around us, Ben, but it certainly sounds like there is now.
Yeah, obviously it's picked up, but again, it's just something that we've got to ride here. They're going to be full of voice, they're going to be energetic for the next 5 minutes, but like I say, it's such a vital period in the game. We just got to stay in the game, build a foundation to go on from.
And Aldershot managed just one win in their final 6 matches of the National League season. That came on the final day against Yeovil. But their lead against Spennymoor Town here this afternoon in the FA Trophy. Jack Barham with the goal on 48 minutes. As the clock ticks past 51 and a half minutes here. Who is yet to really be able to have a go of getting back into this one since that goal a few minutes ago. There's a long ball forwards headed clear by Staunton. McEwen goes back a few yards for Dolan, and now Moors can look to attack. Taylor out to the left hand side, and Staunton again in field for Matty Dolan. Dolan ahead of Henry, playing in pretty tight spaces there though, Moors, and it's out off the foot of a retreating Theo Widrington. I mentioned it in passing a little earlier, but the Widrington family pretty talented. You've got Tommy, who's originally from Newcastle, dad, manager. Theo in the centre of midfield, and then Theo's brother Kai apparently could have been a pro footballer, but instead chose dancing and appeared on Strictly as one of the professionals. How Moors would love some twinkling toes here to get them back into it. As that long ball from Matty Dolan was a bit rash from the experienced man and just drifts harmlessly behind for a goal kick. Moors won the free kick, and then Dolan took it quickly but miscued his pass, and the Shots have a goal kick. I think that's the first time I've seen Graham Lee not out on his technical area, deep in conversation there with his assistant Ian Clark. Well, what they do next, Marcus Dewhurst in the Aldershot goal is bathed in the last piece of sunshine that's on the pitch here at Wembley. Then Taylor's looked like he was manhandled to the ground there, Glenn Taylor, but the referee's been consistent with that all day, not giving very much, letting it be physical, in fairness to him. It's headed in field by Aldershot and find its way to Barrett. Now they'll sweep it out towards the left hand side there, and it's going to be Frost, beats his man, gets towards the bar line, whips it towards the far post, up goes Barham, heads it back across goal, cleared well by Shrimpton. Cool as you like to Mondale, who's going to look to run at the Aldershot defence, and then he knocks it past his man there, and Widrington just blocked him off. But the referee says that Mondale had lost control of it. Now Aldershot are back in possession. So we tick round towards the 54th minute. The Shots of the National League leading by that Jack Barham goal to 0. And it just looks to me, we'll head down to the touchline in a second, that we're going to see 1 or 2 changes in the next few minutes. I think the official down there is just programming the board, and see an Aldershot change coming, I think. What's it looking like down there at the minute, Harry? I think we're going to see 1 or 2 changes in the not too distant future, aren't we?
Yes, looks like we are. Definitely one coming for Aldershot. Kai Corbett looks to be coming on for them. In terms of moves, a couple of players out warming up, including the likes of Will Harris. Aldershot on the break here.
They certainly are. It's central with Barrett, 25 yards out, skips away from a couple of Moors men, then looks to whip it in towards the far post, straight into the waiting grasp of Brad James, a couple of yards out from his goal line. James will roll it out to the feet of Finn Shrimpton. Shrimpton out to the right hand side there, and Dyson down the line for Mondale, and a chance for him to stride into the Aldershot half. Comes infield, looks for an option, looks towards the feet of Taylor, but out quickly to win it there was Will Armitage, and Aldershot can clear up towards halfway, but only as far as Dyson. Infield for Shrimpton, square ball there for Matty Dolan. He has Staunton on the left hand side should he want him. Instead he drills it to the feet of McEwen on the edge of the penalty area. 2 men around him, comes back infield, looks for Taylor. Taylor has Dolan alongside him. Dolan is beaten to it there by a retreating Henry though, and Aldershot will pick up possession. Just in the vital moments that Moors have lacked that bit of quality so far this afternoon, is now Aldershot on the break down the right hand side with Henry. Staunton stuck with him, cleared out off Henry for a throw into Spennymoor Town. I think Moors got a little bit lucky there, Ben, but it's just in those vital moments, isn't it, where Moors have just lacked this afternoon so far. Need to find those little moments of quality.
Yeah, we said that in the first half, didn't we? We need to build a little bit of momentum. We're just sorry, we're just not really. They're having a lot of the ball. They're not really building momentum. But when we win it, I don't even want to. It's not our game to just keep the ball for the sake of it, similar to what they're doing. But we do need to build a bit of momentum. And like you say, that's just taking a good pass and taking a good touch and actually looking like we're going to do something. We need to put them on the back foot. But we've got options off the bench to do so.
It's the end of day and Tetek's afternoon. The midfielder is going to be replaced by the number 9, Kai Corbett. Tetek more of a central midfielder, Corbett more of an orthodox number 9, so it'll be interesting to see what Aldershot do with their forward line here. Looks like some instructions have been handed out. Kai Corbett is the man to come on. Top scorer for Aldershot in the trophy this season, with 4 on their way to the final, is Corbett. As it's a throw down the left from Aldershot, cleared upfield by Spennymoor Town, headed infield and flicked on by Henry. Barham challenges Ledger there. It's headed only as far as Barrett. Barrett battles away with a couple of Spennymoor men. It's going to fall for Barham though. Knocks it past one, and Shrimpton can clear as far as Corbett. Corbett gets it out to the right hand side, up by the edge of the penalty area. It's a deep cross towards the far post. Headed his way as far as Barrett again, just inside the penalty area. Tries to work some room for a shot. Here's Barrett on the edge of the box, tries the shot. It's a cross goal and drifts harmlessly wide of Brad James's course. James was concerned slightly for a moment and realised it was just drifting harmlessly wide. But Aldershot looking to extend their advantage, and Moor's just having to hold firm at the moment, Ben.
Yeah, just ride the storm a little. Finn Shrimpton did well there not to dangle a leg as well, because he's sharper on the box, and you've seen in the first half as well that they're looking for a little bit of contact to just take it and go down, so we've got to be a little bit careful with that. But yeah, they're still off a high off their goal. We just need to ride this storm out and, like I say, build a bit of momentum. That's all they've done there. Is they haven't really actually had any sustained possession. It's just sustained pressure. That's what we need to do. We need to play in their half for a little bit.
As the players take this opportunity to head down for a bit of a tactical refresh and also a bit of refreshments in the form of drinks. Let's head down to Harry Roy down on the touchline. It looks like it's both as much as refueling, it's a bit of reorganisation as well there, Harry.
Yeah, it was really interesting just as that goal went in. Burnley and Ian Clark in real discussion of what they're going to do, and we've seen it from the goal. That left hand side is just causing Moors a lot of problems, and you can see why Graham Lee in that first half was so animated in getting winger Junior Mondell just to come back and give a little bit more help defensively, and that's how that half chance came through Josh Barrett as well. So I expect we're going to see some Moors changes shortly. A number of strikers warming up, including Will Harris and Aidan Rutledge.
Thanks, Harry. That break and play was so that Barrett could receive some treatment. A little head in field from Mondell, and then Glenn Taylor couldn't wrap his foot around that one as he looked to return it towards his winger. Mondell has a bit of a discussion there with his manager Graham Lee. Another really experienced non-league operator, Junior Mondell, ex-Whitby Town, Darlington, Middlesbrough as well, of course. There's a long throw forward from Aldershot. It's headed clear by Shrimpton, headed on by Mondell, but away from Ramshaw. The ball's returned up towards the edge of the penalty area. Barham challenges there with Beals, and Barham comes out on top and then throws himself to the floor. And is that given as a free kick or as a throw-in? The official down there is in conversation. Couldn't quite work out. I think it is a throw-in to Aldershot, as Staunton challenged there with Barham.
I think Reese was just making sure as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was having a bit of a chat, wasn't he, with the official on this near side. It's taken quickly by Aldershot to the feet there of the substitute Corbett, who goes back a few yards there looking for Henry. Henry, who's dropped more into a midfield role now after setting up that opener for Jack Barham. Aldershot leading here 1-0 in the FA Trophy final against Spennymoor Town. So long ball forward finds Barham, who's in an offside position. The assistant on this near side just indicates that he was in an offside position, then came back. So moves one hand to one side of the flag, then the other, and Moors will work it across the defence, but then that's a loose ball from Ben Beals, looking for the feet of Reece Staunton. That's the type of thing that you've got to cut out at this stage when you're 1-0 down, Ben.
Yeah, like I say, we keep talking about momentum. That sort of things happen. Them sort of things happen. Sorry, will just build their momentum, not ours. We just look a little bit shaky, don't we, off the back of that goal? We just need to find our feet again. We were fine in the first half. They're not really doing anything different either.
There's Aldershot working across the defence and out to this right hand side. It's number 17 Jones who comes out on top. Oh, and then he's clattered Matty Dolan there. That was high. The referee says nothing wrong with that. And I think Matty Dolan took a stud around the knee there.
Yeah, I think that's high.
Very high. We'll see it again on the screen in front of us in just a second. But as he goes in here, Jones, he's lifted his leg up and caught Matty Dolan up around the knee. And the referee's just waved play on.
He's let a lot of things go at the referee, to be fair.
Yeah, he's been consistent in he's allowed the physicality of the game to flow, hasn't he? He hasn't pulled up everything. And I think as a player you prefer that as well, don't you?
Yeah.
More lenient referee. But that looked slightly more lenient than we'd expect, I think. 61 minutes on the clock. Moors trailing by a goal to nil here against Aldershot of the National League. A long punted ball forward from Ledgers, headed away. It's headed back into the Aldershot half and flicked on there attempted flick on by Taylor. Won though by the Aldershot defence and brought down to the feet of Theo Widrington. As Aldershot just working in across the defence, and then an attempted ball down the right hand side. It's going to drift harmlessly out of play. Being Moors throw up by the edge of their own penalty area.
What's interesting is that the gaffer seems to have kept Corey on the far side and Junior as well. Obviously switched the wingers round.
Yeah.
But I don't know why at the minute.
As Aldershot win it back and will now look to attack with Barrett. He's now up by the edge of the penalty area. Has Shrimpton for company. Goes outside of him and Tyler Frost. Frost goes back up towards halfway and it's now with Henry. Henry forward to Corbett. He'll get it back. Henry, little ball over the top looking for Kai Corbett again. Up by the byline now. Pulls it back. Cleared away only as far as Barrett. Left-footed shot and blocked by a Spennymoor man and headed clear of the penalty area. But still danger around as Shrimpton's attempted clearance just drops at the feet of another Aldershot man. It's to the feet of Barham on the edge of the penalty area. Skips away from one man, two men, and then Moors will win it back. It's with, Glenn Taylor's rugby tackle to the floor there by the number 36, which is Will Armitage. He asks the question of the referee, and finally the referee blows his whistle and acknowledges the foul. There's been lenient in allowing physicality, and then there's a rugby tackle on halfway.
I don't actually think there's been that's too dissimilar to what he's let go, to be honest with you, especially against Tails. They're coming right through the back of him. I just mentioned there about Corey and Junior switching wings. I'm looking at it, obviously we see it different up here. We see the full picture. That left side, like we mentioned in the first half, was causing us quite a lot of problems, and I think they've put Corey over there just because he's such an honest player that he'll track back, but because he's playing so high, if we can just flip it on its head and just get Corey in them half spaces where he's in a space where they've left, that's where Corey comes alive, especially linking in with Rama, with Tails, but Corey's good enough to go on his own as well.
So Corey McEwen, who's in those luminous boots that we mentioned earlier, will be looking to cause some problems out on the right now as opposed to the left like he was earlier. If you're looking at the bench right now and you're Graham Lee, it sounds weird as that's your manager, but try and work with me, Ben. What would you be looking at on the bench and thinking that could make a difference there? Who would you be looking at?
The first thing I'd look at is Rossi. I think Rossi can cover about 13k a game, something silly like that. I've never seen anyone run like him, and on such a big pitch like Wembley, I think he'd be massive in turning the tide, getting us picking up seconds and building a little bit of momentum our way.
As Glenn Taylor there leads in with his elbow, getting his own back on Will Armitage there and gets himself booked. He did. You could see that coming a mile off, couldn't you, Glenn Taylor? He lined up Armitage. He was a good few yards away, and let's just say led with the elbow there, Ben.
I've been on the receiving end of a few of them often.
All lovingly, I hope. Teammates.
Of course.
But I suppose when you played against him over the years, it won't have been so loving.
Yeah, but I think looking at the game now, I think Rossi would make a difference. I think Rossi will make a difference. He can really. I think we saw it in the Rochdale game as well. He come on and we just started picking up a few more seconds, and that's what you need in the sort of stage the game's at here, you can see Ramage just trying to rally the lads there. We just need momentum. We need to land on seconds. We need to maybe hold the ball a little bit longer, just so we can spend a bit of time in their half. You can't spend a full game defending.
It's the first booking of the afternoon, that Glenn Taylor, Spennymoor Town captain, and the free kick's long, and these two Aldershot men challenge each other for it. And Moor's clear. It's now back on this right hand side there, out off Junior Mondal, and we'll head down to the touchline in the not too distant future, because I think we might be seeing some changes for Spennymoor Town. Just see how this pans out. In fact, let's head down. In fact, no, we'll wait again for this throwing to take place as Jones gets it back there from Corbett. Corbett now on the right hand side. He's looking for some options, plays a square ball across the edge of the penalty area to Barrett, flicks it past one man, and it's there for Dyson to clear out on the far side. Let's head down and see what this change is going to look like from a Moor's perspective. It's going to be made in the next couple of minutes. Harry, who's been lined up by Grimley?
It's an attacking one, and it's Aidan Rutledge, and the instruction will be simple: come on and make a difference. Just over 20 minutes to go. He saved them against Rochdale. Can he save them on the biggest stage of all at Wembley?
As I think Glenn Taylor's been, thanks Harry, penalised there. I think he more collided with the Aldershot man than anything nasty in that. He's going to have to watch it, because there'll be a totting up process now, won't there, for Glenn Taylor, especially after that booking for a pretty cynical elbow from the Moors captain. Doesn't want his... Sure, he'll have got plenty of cards this morning, but he won't want to receive a red one on his 35th birthday. We are now going to see that change, and it does indeed see Aidan Rutledge come off in place of Junior Mondal. Expecting to see Aidan Rutledge in a slightly more advanced position to Mondal, or was that like for like, Ben?
I'd expect the same as you, to maybe go up along the top line with Tails, but it actually looks like he's going on the right hand side. It's a job he's done, to be fair. We saw him do it at Rochdale. He probably will just cheat a little bit more and play a little bit closer to Tails than Junior was.
Yeah, the man who headed Spennymoor Town level in the dying seconds of that semi-final to take it to penalties is now on the pitch here at Wembley. As Taylor picks it up, looks round the outside for Rutledge. Oh, and it's just diverted away from Rutledge. Moors win it back high up, they can't. It's Ramshaw sniffing around now. Rutledge puts some pressure on Dewhurst, who clears it up to Barrett on halfway. It's a good clearance. Now Barrett will look to release Corbett round the back of Staunton. Staunton gets his head to it though and heads it up rather than away, so it'll be picked up by Kai Corbett. On the overlap there is the captain, Aaron Jones, but Corbett instead holds things up. He'll now go to Jones on this right hand side. Now back to Corbett up by the byline, cuts back, looks to whip it towards the far post, headed away strongly by Dyson, but it'll drop to Aldershot players on the edge of the area, and Henry back infield. You've got Witherington in possession now midway inside the Moors half, spreads play out towards his right hand side, and Kai Corbett early cross into the middle, takes a deflection, it'll be cleared away by Matty Dolan. Moors just struggling to keep hold of it at present though. The number 36 is Armitage, just smuggles it away from Glenn Taylor, and Aldershot pass it across the defence, and long ball over the top, looking for the run there of Frost. He's got the wrong side there of Staunton, up towards the byline now. Aldershot on the attack, it's a dangerous one, and it headed towards goal there, and I think it was out in the end off Shrimpton, as Barron, the scorer of Aldershot's first, was sniffing around looking to add a second, Ben.
Yeah, we're under a bit of pressure, aren't we, to be fair? It's just hard, because I've been in this situation before. We all know what we need to do. It's just so hard to just build that momentum, build any sort of foundation for us to go play off. You're on that knife edge, aren't you? Because you want to commit more, but at the same time, if you overcommit, you just leave yourself open, and then if we concede another goal, the game's gone.
As it's a corner for Aldershot, whipped in by Barrett, headed towards the far post and in. Aldershot have doubled their advantage. It was a header at the front post, flicked towards the far post, and the Aldershot players celebrate in front of the travelling fans, and the Shots double their lead. It's the number 35, Dan Ellison. He flicked it from the front post and it drifted into the far post past Brad James. And if it was a pretty big hill for Moors to climb a few minutes ago, it seems like a mountain now. They trailed 2-0 to Aldershot in the FA Trophy final. As the smoke bombs led off away to our right hand side in the Aldershot end. The 18,000 Shots fans are in raptures. And that Ben Pollock is a sucker punch.
Yeah. To be fair to them, they've been the better team in the second half, and we've struggled to sort of find our feet after they scored the first goal. But you know, fair enough if they score a goal through open play. When you set up and it's a dead ball situation, we should be dealing with that better. But we just got to throw caution at the wind now. We've got nothing to lose. Just go for it and see what comes of it.
And the long ball forward there's flicked on by Rutledge, but is out behind for a goal kick. Allison's goal. We'll head down to chat with Harry in just a second. But just listen to the partying Shots fans here. I think they can scent victory. And it's significantly quieter away to our left. Harry, there are going to be a couple more changes, I think, in the next couple of minutes.
Yes, one last roll of the dice for Graham Lee's men. Will Harris coming on, it's another attacker. When that ball went into the back of the net for that second Aldershot goal, Matty, Graham Lee, just no emotion on his face, but you know he's gutted. But once again, Matty Dolan picked that ball up, stuck it on the centre circle. They're going to keep fighting to the end, Moors, but they've got a hell of a mountain to climb here.
Thanks, Harry. Is now Aldershot attack again through Corbett. Well won back though by Staunton, and Shrimpton will stride up towards halfway, finds the feet of Taylor. Moores on the attack with Rutledge out wide on the right hand side now. Faced up by a defender, but he's going to look to run at his man, Aidan Rutledge. Looks infield and tries to play a square ball there for Shrimpton, but it's blocked and Aldershot can clear. Ben Beals will take no chances there and hooks it up towards the edge of the Rochdale penalty area. Two Aldershot men collide, but still somehow they come away with the ball. Dan Ellison's goal on 71 minutes has quietened the Moors fans and brightened the Aldershot fans as a ball out towards the right hand side. It's going to have too much on it for Rutledge to keep in, is it? It is. It's a sloppy pass that in the end from Rob Ramshaw, and I think we're going to see those changes now. Harry?
Yes, those changes are coming now, Matty, and it's a change for Aldershot. Kwame Thomas is coming on in place of Jack Barham, who got the first goal from Moors. Will Harris coming in as well. Just want to see from the first official who that'll be in this place. You can hear the Aldershot fans, 18,000 of them, making a hell of a noise inside the stadium right now. It will be Matty Dolan who will make way for Will Harris. It's an attacker on for a midfielder. One last roll of the dice for Moors.
Thanks, Harry. The Aldershot fans rise to their feet and applaud the man who grabbed their first goal this afternoon, Jack Barham. Set the shots on their way. And Dan Ellison headed in on 71 minutes to double Aldershot's advantage. In fact, it looks like Graham Lee changed his mind there. It's Will Harris is replacing Corey McEwen in the end. Matty Dolan remaining on for the foreseeable. I wonder if Corey McEwen was just feeling the pace or a bit of a problem there, Ben.
Yeah, maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, we rely on the front four to do a lot of distance, a lot of pressing work in. So in this heat, it wouldn't surprise me. Big pitch. It's a tough ask.
The Aldershot fans burst into more song as a long ball forward finds Corbett on this near side. He's got Kwame Thomas in the middle. If he can find him, it's just over the head of the Aldershot attacker, and now Dyson will come striding out of defence for Spennymoor Town. The right wing back's now out on this left hand side. He tries to go past his man there. He's taken out surely by the 17. I don't know how Aaron Jones, the captain, can have many complaints with that. It is given as a free kick by the referee. Free kick to Moors, about 10 yards inside of the Aldershot half, just over by this left hand touchline. Chance to send one or two big men forward, you'd think. Defensive line's up by the edge of the penalty area. There's Aldershot fans in party mood now with a little over 14 minutes plus added time to go. They lead Spennymoor by 2-0 here in the FA Trophy final. Dolan to take this free kick, pumps it long towards the edge of the penalty area. Heads go up, it's cleared by Aldershot. Cleared further away by Aldershot up towards halfway. Well, it'll be picked up by Ollie Dyson. And And Aldershot can clear up towards halfway where Josh Barrett picks it up, and then in quickly there was Ledger. It's out for an Aldershot throw, and they'll go away back to their defence. There's a chance of where the red and blue army reverberate round Wembley from the Aldershot fans. But if there's anyone that can pull off a comeback here, it is Spennymoor Town after what they've done on this run so far. Staunton goes past his man Jones and looks to play a ball round the back into the channel, but just too much on it for Ramshaw to get there. And Dewhurst takes his time picking this one up. Marcus Dewhurst in the Aldershot goal. Moors have just struggled to create much in this second half, Ben. Aldershot have definitely had the more clear-cut opportunities, whereas it was the opposite way around in the first half.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I don't know if they've changed in what they've actually done, or if we've just struggled to deal with it a little bit more. What is interesting is no matter when they're defending, they always seem to leave one or two up. They obviously trust themselves defending, a little bit outnumbered, but on the flip side again, when they are defending maybe a little bit outnumbered, on transition they're having 2-3 men up. They're building a counter-attack really quickly with a lot of bodies.
Fantastic attendance here today. It's just been announced on the big screen here at Wembley for non-league finals day. Total of 38,600 in attendance across the course of the FA Vase and the FA Trophy this afternoon. It was Whitstable Town that took the Vase earlier. And as things stand into the final quarter of an hour, it's going to be Aldershot Town that take it ahead of Spennymoor. Unfortunately, we're going to see a change in the next few minutes, so we'll head down to Harry Roy in just a bit on the touchline. Looks like it's going to be for Aldershot perspective. So the throw-in's taken by the Shots down the right-hand side. It's held up well by Kai Corbett. Corbett back a few yards and finds Jones, and Aldershot just happy to pass it round the middle and keep the ball with a little over 12 minutes plus added time to go, and a 2-0 advantage over Spennymoor Town in the FA Trophy final. Played central by Aldershot towards Kwame Thomas. He flicks it on, it'll be headed down by Thomas, and then Kwame Thomas hits the deck inside the box, and that is, I mean, he's hit dramatics there, you have to say it. Kwame Thomas came together with Ben Beals, hits the deck. Josh Barrett having a go at the defenders there, doesn't have to get involved. Kwame Thomas is sat on the deck. Ben Beals is giving him a piece of his mind, and the result of it all is absolutely nothing, as Brad James came out and collected it. It would have been a soft penalty if it had been given.
Yeah, that would have been a bad one if that was given. He's just got to be careful there though, Beals. He doesn't need to fight with him. He's a big strong lad. He's a bit of a unit up there, isn't he? Something a bit different.
Yeah.
They obviously look like they're going to go a little bit more direct.
We've just seen the replays in front of us, and he goes down holding his head, and there's no contact with the head whatsoever. That is poor from Kwame Thomas there. Big man who went down like a sack of spuds. As Moors have it in midfield, just inside the Aldershot half. On the left-hand side, Staunton back a few yards for Dolan. He'll give it back to Staunton on the touchline on this near side. Staunton infield there for Harris. Harris has held off a couple of Aldershot men. We'll look to go back down the left to Staunton. Staunton in front of an Aldershot man will come in field. Force backwards to Shrimpton. Shrimpton looking for a bit of space. He turns infield and will advance towards the edge of the area. Taylor holds it up, gives it back to Finn Shrimpton. Shrimpton up by the edge of the area, looking to work space for a shot, gets a shot away, blocked though by Witherington, and Aldershot can clear. Just looked like it was going to open up for Finn Shrimpton for a second there. But then Moors will go down the right hand side, and it's cut out there again, but Moors win it back. Shrimpton, can he get there ahead of Frost? He can't. Frost clears it, but only as far as Moors man. Dyson just couldn't get it under control, could he? And Aldershot can clear up to Kai Corbett, who down the right hand side will get it to Jones, who'll stride into the Spennymoor Town half. Jones gives it back to Kai Corbett, the substitute. Infield for Barrett. Barrett looking to put the icing on the cake here for Aldershot in the FA Trophy final. In fact, he's coming out towards the corner as Josh Barrett ahead of Ben Beals. Goes back a few yards there for his captain Aaron Jones. And we will go down eventually to Harry to hear the details of that substitution that's going to come. But Aldershot just happy to take the sting out of it, keep it in play for the moment. And just as I say that, It's an awful mistake by the centre-half. Tommy Widdrington lampasts his defender there. We are going to see that sub, Harry.
Yes, we are. James Henry is coming off in place of Maxwell Mullins. Aldershot just feel like they're trying to see this game out now. Looks like Moors are going to make a quick change as well. Graham Lee has kept the calculator on this so far. He's got a few changes left to make. Another roll of the dice. We're going to see Callum Ross come on for Moors. No idea who's in place as yet. It looks like another Moors change as well. So Graham Lee's throwing everything at this now, Matty.
Thanks, Harry. Standing ovation there for James Henry, who set up the opener for Aldershot for Jack Barham. Experienced former Football League player, Henry, of course, spells with Millwall and Pompey, amongst other teams. Actually, no, what am I talking about? Millwall and Bournemouth, I meant to say. Reading, Oxford United, Bolton. And he has looked like a classy player this afternoon, Henry, hasn't he? Just unflustered by the occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played it really well. Smooth with the ball. Yeah, he's been a good player today.
As it's launched into the air by the Moors defence and headed forward by Aldershot, and they'll come again down the left-hand side, all shots. It's Frost. Frost going to look to come inside and whip the right-footed ball in towards the middle. Out comes James, he spills it, and then the referee is going to penalise.
He might as well just let us play that.
Yeah, the Moors were in possession. And we might actually see two changes in the end. Go down to Harry in just a sec to see who is going to come on for Spennymoor Town. James to take this free kick following the foul just outside his 6-yard box. It's long into the Aldershot half, and Glenn Taylor's been wrestled again there by the 35, Dan Ellison. And the referee's he's walking up to it in the last 10 or 15 minutes after seeing it all afternoon.
It's unreal though, because they're 2-0 up, he gives it. When it's 0-0, he doesn't bother.
It is going to be a free kick for Spennymoor Town. We're going to see substitution now. Harry, who's coming on?
Yes, Matty Dolan is coming off this time in place of Callum Ross. We're also going to see Dan Rowe come on for Moors as well. So a double change for Graham Lee's men. Less than 8 minutes to go.
Thank you, Harry. Callum Ross on. Dan Rowe, are you expecting to see Dan Rowe maybe go up as that striker, that target man?
Potentially. I'm not really sure what. Unless Bealsley or Ledger's struggling with something potentially. They obviously still look a little bit dangerous on the counter, but to be fair, I'm not really bothered about that. I'd rather just run the risk and put the ball forward.
As the Aldershot fans again raise the volume levels, it's just about 10 minutes away from lifting the FA Trophy. Ben Beals it is who's going to be replaced by Dan Rowe, so like for like in the centre of that defence. Dan Rowe, who's only just back from injury in the last couple of weeks.
What an experience that was for Bealsley though. Bealsley, it's his first season in men's football, and he's been unbelievable for the club, and he's played through injury, and he's a proper warrior, and yeah, great opportunity for him.
Ollie Dyson's just going to loft this free kick in towards the penalty area, bounces around and is cleared away by Aldershot. Just wouldn't break for a Spennymoor man, would it? As Barrett is going to play it down the right hand side, and it's a substitute. He's going to look to get there ahead of Dyson.
Done well,
and he's done really well, Ollie Dyson, there to get there ahead of the sub. And he's hit the deck, and that is so good there from Ollie Dyson, the number 24 from Aldershot. Maxwell Mullins has been on the pitch 5 minutes. Ollie Dyson's played the entire 83, and he's still beat him for pace in the closing minutes.
He's done really well. He's ready. He had to win that, but he's done wonders for us. And
he won the free kick midway inside his own half. It's going to be launched long into the Aldershot half. Over the head of the defender, is it? No, it's just headed away, but it'll be picked up there by Will Harris on the far side. Going to look to go past his man. He's up by the byline now. Look to whip it in towards the middle. Blocked behind corner, Spennymoor Town. Feels like it's now or never, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is what we need. We need to be pinning them in. We need to just be spending. We've spent the last 5 minutes in their half. Yes, they're going to counter, but we can live with that. We're going to have to.
5.5 minutes to go, plus added time. Spennymoor Town trail 2-0 here in the FA Trophy final at Wembley. You're listening to BBC Radio T Sport. Can Moors set up a grandstand finish?
An extra big body in there as well now with Roy. He's a physical presence.
It's Rhys Staunton who's gone across to the far side to take it. It's a long floated corner towards the far post. Up go the heads. That's just headed harmlessly wide in the end. I think it was Dan Roy who got there to get his head to it, but he just couldn't direct it back across goal, and it just drifts behind for a goal kick to Aldershot Town, and you just feel that Moors need to hit back soon.
Yeah, we need to do something.
Been a big roll of the dice from manager Graham Lee with his substitutions. Plenty of them in recent minutes. Can Moors muster up something and find a way back into this one? Produced late heroics at Rochdale in the semi-final. Can they do it against Aldershot here at Wembley? It's shots that clear, but then Barrett's headers wayward, and forward comes Dyson again, striding down that right hand side. He's up towards the edge of the penalty area. Ollie Dyson looks to get it into the middle, and it's just over the top of the Moors men and headed back to his goalkeeper there by one of the calmest men on the pitch there, Aaron Jones. That takes some bottle inside the penalty area at Wembley.
Yeah, he's done very well there, in fairness to him. Ollie's done well there as well. Just, yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough. We're trying to commit bodies, and it's all a little bit off the cuff now. This is what happens when you obviously, shapes out the window, isn't it? We've got like 3 bodies on now, which are sort of playing out of position.
Just throwing the kitchen sink at it, really, isn't it?
Yes.
The long goal kicks punted forward by Aldershot. May fall to Barrett in the edge of the penalty area. Left foot shot and in. And that, you have to say, is that. Josh Barrett has scored an absolute screamer. Long goal kick, flicked on to the forward Barrett, who hits a sumptuous volley into the back of the net with just a couple of minutes to go. And Aldershot Town are going to win the FA Trophy. It is Aldershot 3, Spennymoor Town 0. And Ben, sometimes you just have to doff your cap and say fair play.
Yeah, I agree with you. In the first half, I thought it was an even game. It could have been anyone's in the second half. They've stepped up. They've took the game to us. They've put us into positions we don't want to be in. Especially, in a cup final when you score, you have to be brave to continue to play instead of just protecting your lead. And in fairness to them, they've stuck with the patterns. They've stuck with what they've wanted to do, and they've reaped the rewards.
As the Moors fans away to our left, hordes of them stream away towards the exit. Josh Barrett, you have to say, take a bow there, son.
Oh yeah, that's a worldie, that
He hit a hell of a volley beyond the despairing dive of Brad James and into the back of the net. As it's ecstasy for the Aldershot fans on our right and agony for Spennymoor Town fans away to our left. Moors in possession on the edge of the Aldershot area. Can they get a shot away and maybe restore some pride? Rutledge tries to, up into the air. It's across goal and all right across goal and out of play on the far side. I think that was Staunton tried to get it across 6 yards. It looked like it was going to drift in at the far post, but it just dropped wide of Marcus Dewhurst's goal.
Probably the worst period of the game, this, because you feel the game's gone from you. You've still got 5 or so minutes after they had the time on it.
Harry, an interesting substitute coming here.
An interesting substitute, it looks like, from both sides. So Aldershot are changing their keeper. Jordi van Stappershoff is coming on for Marcus Dewhurst, and it looks like Moors' Ryan Johnson's going to come on as well for Brad James. But when that goal went in, Matty, there's nothing you can do about it. But the faces of the Moors players just tell you everything you need to know. It was such a difficult watch just sat behind here on the Moors bench. Aidan Rutledge in particular just fell to the floor, absolutely devastated. It looks like it's all over here for Moors.
3-0 trail here in the FA Trophy final. Thank you, Harry. And as if just to rub salt into the wound, what did I say about the goalkeeper? Please don't bring Jordi van Stappershoff on.
I know.
Tommy Widdrington goes and does it. Gonna have to put your teeth back in now. There's a long ball forwards, flicked on, up towards halfway. Rutledge battles away there, as does Glenn Taylor. But it's Aldershot who'll play down the right-hand side. Kwame Thomas battling away there with Ledger, but it's cleared downfield by Staunton up towards Taylor again. Taylor on his 35th birthday is unfortunately going to taste defeat here at Wembley in his pass. Looking for Emua's man, has missed everyone, but the referee's blown up for a free kick all the same. As we tick around towards 90 minutes, the celebrations have started here in the Aldershot end as a long ball forward from the free kicks, cleared away by Aldershot. They may look to counter. Replays the ball, now he's through, and he is through to number 24 round the back. It is Maxwell Mullins, plays it square, a chance for a fourth. Excellent save, Brad James. It was Aaron Jones, the captain, who arrived and denied Jones a certain fourth. 5 minutes of added time at the end of this one, and I think, as Harry said a few moments ago, we are going to see Ryan Johnson come on. What will that mean to him?
Oh, this is unbelievable for Ryan. He's a young lad. He's come through the ranks at Spennymoor. He's a homegrown player. He's travelled all year, got nothing in terms of minutes, and this is going to be unbelievable for him.
There's now Aldershot still on the attack. It's Mullins again looking to pull it back through everyone in the box, though, cleared away by Staunton, headed forward by Widrington. It's going to go out towards the far side. It'll be kept in play there by Kai Corbett. Corbett going to look to run at the Moors defence. Corbett about 25 yards out. Is he going to try a shot? He does, over the top of the crossbar behind. And Harry, that was a lovely moment there as Graham Lee embraced his goalkeeper, and we're going to see that change now, aren't we?
Yeah, and also Tommy Widrington came over and just give a bit of appreciation to Ryan Johnson, who's going to come on in place at Brad James. And irrespective of what's happened for Moors today, a fantastic moment for every individual out on that pitch to play at Wembley. And no matter what, they've done County Durham proud this afternoon.
As Ryan Johnson comes off. Comes onto the field, receives a pat on the back, and the embrace of his various teammates. Ryan Johnson will go right the way through to his goal to take this goal kick, his first action. He's going to get some stick from the Rochdale, the Aldershot fans, I should say, while he does it. 2 of the added 5 minutes have gone. Johnson launches it into the afternoon sky.
That's a great kick.
It is a great kick up towards halfway. It was flicked on by Taylor, but Aldershot will launch it forward again. Now it's with Mullins on the edge of the area. Mullins, he's looking to work space for a shot. Great save by Johnson. Mullins nearly lobbed the goalkeeper at his first action, but Johnson made himself big, tipped it round the post and kept it at 3-0.
2 good actions, because it's hard, isn't it, when you come as a keeper, the first thing you got to do is kick the ball in front of 18,000 fans right behind you. He's done very well there.
And also made an important save. After coming through the ranks, Ryan Johnson, that will mean a lot for him this today. As Barrett goes across to the far side to take this corner. 2 minutes left of this FA Trophy final. I'm afraid to say Spennymoor Town are heading for defeat. It's with Corbett, looks to get away from Shrimpton. He'll try a right-footed shot now. Corbett over the top of the crossbar, high, wide, and never really troubling Johnson in the Spennymoor Town goal. Yeah, I'm afraid to say that Moors are going to fall at the final hurdle here. 3-0 down here to National League side Aldershot Town. But by God, have they done their fans proud this season, Ben?
Oh, listen, the club should be really proud. The lads should be really proud. We've overcome some great teams. You know, you look at things like budgets. You know, clubs with way bigger budgets, and you know, we've been out and we've been out of games and we've clawed ourselves back in. The lads deserve all the plaudits that they are going to get, because it's been an unbelievable feat to do what they've done.
It really has. Graham Lee paces around his technical area as Moors take a quick throw in, and it's an opportunity to get a shot on goal. Good save, Jordy van Staversoff. Will Harris with the shot, palmed away towards the edge of the area, whipped in towards the middle now, cleared away again by Aldershot. As far as Finn Shrimpton on the edge of the area, heavy touch, and Aldershot will clear up towards halfway. Shrimpton just couldn't get it under his spell, as now forward come Aldershot again. But down goes Barrett. That's harsh. That is harsh against Michael Ledger. I think Barrett went down there as if he'd been whacked across the face, as the player of the match is announced as Jack Barham, the scorer of Aldershot's first. What do you have a think in the last minute or so, Ben, and see if you can think of a BBC Radio T Sport man of the match from Spennymoor Town this afternoon, who you think's been standout player for Moors?
It's been tough, hasn't it? Because I think first half, things were a lot more level. Second half, which is more fresh in the memory, we've struggled. But if I was to give one, it'd go to Finn Shrimpton. I think he's been sort of the energy of the team. I think he's drove us. When we were behind, when we were chasing, he tried to drive us forward. He never stops running, and yeah, he'd be my vote.
The long ball forward comes, and there you have it. Ecstasy away to our right hand side as Aldershot Town win the 2025 FA Trophy. Agony away to our left as Spennymoor Town fall at the final hurdle. They've been beaten 3-0 by Aldershot here today, but by God have they done County Durham pride over the course of this campaign. They've done County Durham proud. They got all the way to the FA Trophy final, defying the odds along the way, beating 3 National League sides. The heroic efforts of Graham Lee and his side have made headlines around the country, not just around the North East. And they may have fallen at the final hurdle this afternoon, Spennymoor Town, but they are the pride of County Durham this afternoon. Aldershot win the 2025 FA Trophy, but Spennymoor Town should take all the plaudits this afternoon.
Yeah, listen, you know, it's massive for our club, this. It's brought the sort of the town together. I mean, like I say, you look over, we've brought 4,000 fans with us today. You know, even look at them now, still clapping, still appraising what we've done. It's been a massive achievement. The lads have gone through really big clubs, really tough ties. They've come out of it, they've not stopped working even today. You know, it's a National League side, and I couldn't be prouder of the lads, to be honest with you. You know, we could have come set up in a way to just sort of suffer, try and take it a penalty, we haven't. We went and took the game to Aldershot, you know, but that stands for who we are as a club. You know, we're seen as a small club, but we achieve, and you know, we battle with bigger budgets, we battle with bigger clubs on paper, and that's just Spennymoor to a T.
Spennymoor Town have punched well above their weight in this competition. It's been middleweight versus heavyweight at times, but they've somehow found a way to get here. Unfortunately for Moors, it wasn't to be here at Wembley, but Spennymoor Town can hold their heads up high.
Matty, thank you very much. Ben, final thoughts just before we go down and hear from Harry Roy, who is watching the Aldershot players take the congratulations of the fans who travelled in their numbers. Tommy Widgerton with his arms aloft, and he points and wants all the plaudits to go to his players. Meanwhile, away to our left, you can see Spennymoor Town as a squad all over to the left-hand side, applauding their support. And that is a moment that I'm sure will live long in both the players' minds and that of those fans who have seen that journey twist and turn throughout the FA Trophy. Ben, ultimately it wasn't to be for Spennymoor today, but what can this do? I know it's hard in the aftermath of it right now, it's still very raw, but this has put Spennymoor very much at the forefront, hasn't it? And it's shone a bit of a spotlight onto Spennymoor Town of what this club can do and where they hope to go from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, the last 2 seasons we've missed out the playoffs by a point. We've got all the way to the FA Trophy. This is a club that's moving forward, and there's no doubt about it. You look on the pitch there, we've got a great squad. Like I mentioned at half-time, we've got an unbelievable changing room. You've got lads in there who lead, and you've got lads who follow the leaders. I think next year looks very exciting. You've got a manager who the lads all believe in or play for. Not just that, obviously, even further up, you like everyone in the club, the chairman. You know, it's a club which you don't see often, but everyone's pulling in the same direction. I think it's a very exciting time for the club. I think next year, you know, we want to be, and I think we will be, in and around them playoff spots again. And who knows, you know, we've got young players who are developing and improving all the time. You know, I could list them all now, but I'd be here forever at the efforts of the lads. But you've got such a good mix in there. You know, you've got such a well-run club. The foundations, it's so stable. The foundations are there to just build on. And we're getting closer. You know, this is Spennymoor Town taking on Aldershot. You know, no one thought that would be, you know, a fixture many years ago. This is a club on the up. It's got everything it needs. It's got everyone pulling in the right direction. And like I say, I honestly believe it's a very special and exciting time for the club.
It shows, and I suppose it will help harness the belief around Spennymoor as a town, but as a team. Not saying that they didn't have that previously, but this journey to going up against Boston, beating Boston, going to Sutton United, to Gander Green Lane, which is a really hard place to go there and win, to come come back and get the victory over Rochdale in dramatic circumstances. Okay, it was maybe today a step too far against an Aldershot side who showed their quality in the end, but again, it can hopefully harness that belief in the team and amongst that squad of players to go one step further next season, get into those playoffs and try and get into the National League, and that would be huge for the football club.
Oh, absolutely, but that's what we're all trying to do. I honestly believe that's on the agenda. I think it's something that's achievable, but as a club we're fearless. Put them teams on the table, we'll go toe to toe with anyone, and that's why I love this club. That's why I'm so proud to be a Spennymoor player, proud to be a part of it, because like I said before, teams will come and they'll suffer and they'll make a day out of it. Never us. We'll play anyone, we'll take our game. We have our style, we work hard, we run hard, we have individuals who can win games, who have individual moments which are special. You've got such a good blend across the club. I'm not even just talking about the 11, I'm not talking about the squad, I'm talking about the full club. It's a great club, and like you say, I think it's got everything there to look at it and go, right, that is an exciting project. Players, this is a club that you should want to play for, because we're very close to the playoffs. We're sat here at Wembley, and I'm very proud to be a part of the club today. It's been unbelievable. I mean, obviously it's sore for the lads now, but listen, if there's one thing Spennymoor can do, it's bounce back.
You took the words out of my mouth there, Ben. I was going to say, how proud are you of this team, your teammates, your manager? What does it mean to be a part of Spennymoor Town Football Club?
Yeah, well, listen, I see the sacrifices people make. I see, I'll use Colin Ross for example. Rossi works, I think, 3-4 jobs, and he never misses a training session. He never misses a game. Sometimes he's the other end of the country and he meets us direct at games because he can't get back to get on the bus. He's a perfect example of what Spennymoor is all about. It's non-stop, and he's always there, and he runs 13, 14, 15k a game. He's a machine. He just harnesses what we're all about. I'm so proud of the players. I'm so proud of the staff. Young Ryan Johnson there come through the academy, making his debut on Wembley. It's unbelievable. So a massive well done to everyone in the club.
Well, Ben, I want you to be able to go and take part in these as well. I know, I'm sure you'll be up there with the players while Ben goes and do that. And thank you so much for your contributions this afternoon. Also, you've been brilliant. We've had so many messages as well, Ben, saying just how brilliant, and you sound like a pro. So you're welcome back anytime. While you do that and go and join your teammates, let's head down to Harry Roy, who is there as the Spennymoor players make their way past you, Harry.
Yes, they certainly are. I've just seen Graham Lee there. A really nice moment between him and his wife Gemma. Blew each other a kiss as he walked up, and he just pumped his chest as a sign of love to her. And it's been an incredible journey for Moors. They're making the walk now that absolutely no one wants to make here at Wembley, picking up a runners-up medal. Glenn Taylor, the captain, the first one up there, followed by Will Harris and Finlay Shrimpton. But like we've been saying throughout the commentary here on BBC Radio T Sport, this is a club to be proud of. They fell at the final hurdle today, but it's been an incredible journey, and they didn't disgrace themselves with their performance today. They were just beaten by the better side. They threw everything at it, they made changes, they tried to do everything they could. But as I stand here at Wembley, you still see those Moors fans who have stayed right till the end, waving their flags, waving their scarves. They are so proud of this team, these players, this club, this manager. And no matter what the scoreline today, those Moors fans in that corner, the 3,700 of them that have made the journey down to London, that is 20% of the population of Spennymoor, Rob. They've done themselves proud, and they'll be happy with what they've seen today. They've fallen at the final hurdle, but like Ben was saying there, these are just the foundations. This is just the start for this football club, and it can only improve from here on in. And it wouldn't surprise me if we're seeing in a few years' time that Moors will come here and lift this trophy. As a round of applause appears from around the ground as well, the Aldershot supporters, 18,000 of them. Their players have just come along to the tunnel and the touchline here as well, and they're also applauding the Moors players, as is Tommy Redruth, former Pooley, and of course a friend of William Lee as well. But not to be for Moors as they make their way back onto the pitch, but a great day regardless of the result, Rob.
And as you speak, Harry, I'm just looking up at the big screen because our commentary position is right underneath the balcony where the players, the Spennymoor Town players, are getting their runner-up medals, and as Harry was describing, making their way back down onto the pitch now, but Graham Lee walking across, shaking the hands and getting his medal as well. He'll be back down towards Harry very shortly. We're going to try and see if we can grab a word with some of the players as now Aldershot step and make their way up the stairs to take their position on the perch as the FA Trophy winners. But the Spennymoor Town players onto the pitch and just sitting down and observing like everybody else inside this stadium this afternoon. It is an opportunity for them to drink it in for one final moment. And while the players take in that sight, while they take in that moment, Aldershot going to lift the trophy, I'm delighted to say, although the circumstances maybe not so much, that we are joined live by the Spennymoor Town manager, Graham Lee. Graham, the emotions will be high, I'm sure. Yeah. What are you feeling?
Emotional, probably. It's more young Ryan, our goalkeeper, lost his dad on Friday morning. That's probably hit me more like in the sense of getting him on the pitch. The result today was, we had our moments, we had our chances, first half, but 1v1, Rammers running at centre half, we tried the wrong pass, they hit us, and that first goal was a sucker punch. But obviously what happened at the end there, getting Ryan on the pitch, his dad was unbelievable, Barry Johnson, coming out, filled down water bottles up every week and get a call off Ryan on Friday morning, and to say he's come on the bus with us and then to be able to get him on, just unfortunately that takes over what the emotions. I've just spread my dad's ashes on the pitch, which is nice. It's been a hell of a journey. It's obviously them things take over, but what we've achieved to get here, it's been one hell of a run, and we had our moments in the game what could have been a different story. Unfortunately, once I got that first goal, it was just we fell a little bit and we just couldn't get ourselves back into it.
And Graham, I spoke to you on the pitch at Rochdale a month ago, and that was one of the proudest men I've ever witnessed in football. Can you put into words this team and what you've achieved?
Oh, it's unbelievable for us small town County Durham part-time club up against, I think someone said there was 300 teams in this tournament, God knows 50 odd professional clubs, and we've reached the final. And I thought first half, we let them have the ball a bit, which was fine, we knew they would, but we created some unbelievable chances and we could have put ourselves in a good position, and I felt as though if we were just a little bit more aggressive we would. And unfortunately we have a moment in the second half and then they counter us, and that just sucker punched us a little bit. But the lads, I couldn't be more proud of everyone involved in this club. We've achieved an unbelievable thing to get here. We wanted that final win, but I'm a proud man either way, and like I said, we've all had our stories here, and I've had my story, and it's been fantastic.
And you mentioned the stories alongside it, your dad and the Ashes, your wife and the battle she goes through on a day-to-day basis, young Ryan there and what he's had to go through in the last few days. Does that show just kind of, does that encapsulate the fight and the want and the battle of this club, do you think?
Yeah, listen, we all have our own personal things, and I'm not one who goes out and talks about everything what goes on. Me and my family, we live our life, we get on with our lives, we do it to the best we can, and keep moving forward and keep fighting together. And obviously that I can use that for my team. I can't speak to what the lads and how we do it. All I can do is advise and give the lads as much as I can, and I think we've done that. You can see that they've achieved so much. They've got unbelievable fight even at the end with 3-0, and the lads are rushing to get the throw in. They want to score. They still want to get to me at Wembley. These boys have worked their socks off all season, and they deserve to be out there today. I'll let them have the moment.
it's a measure of you as a man, Graham. There, as you say, let Aldershot have their moment. But your moment and your team, those players, to get here, you said it was a fight. You had to fight every step of the way. And that team did fight every step of the way, and it's a Graham Lee team in your image that would not give up the fight countless times, whether it was at Sutton United, whether it was at Boston, whether it was at Rochdale when it all looked lost and you came back. Right now, with these emotions and with this feeling, it may be hard to answer this question, but going forward, what will this run? What will these moments, and it's often in the hard moments where togetherness is forged, what will this do for you, for those players sat down there who I promise we're going to let you go and join them very shortly, and the club as a whole? Because this really does, and we heard from Ben Pollock moments ago saying about this feels like a club that is heading in the right direction. This is a club that has so much going for it, and this run has only highlighted that even more. What will you, do you think, be able to take away as the man leading this team?
I think it's a reflection on the club itself, from the top all the way from the bottom. Every single worker at this club wants the best for this club, and we all thrive and do our own little bit. And it's me with the team, there's people behind the scenes, the groundsman, the chairman. It's unbelievable what he does for this club and what he puts into this club. And Jason Ainsey, who's like head of football, has been there and done it for years, who's a guy. You've got so many people you can name, but it just, we're well run club, and it's then my job to try and get the team well run on the pitch. And we've had a great season to get here, to finish our last game of the season at Wembley. Yeah, we didn't win, but like, we're very proud, and all we can do, you can use this going forward to what we've achieved and what we can achieve going forward, and we work together. Nobody in a million years would have said we'd have got to Wembley in this tournament. You've only got like a club like ours. I've got Glenn Taylor there, who's 10 years at the club, 35 today, and he gets one chance to be at Wembley because our playoffs are at Wembley, just this trophy, and in his eyes he's not going to get to Wembley. And then the smile on his face from the Rochdale like says it all. That's what it means to these lads to be on this pitch, on this stage. And yeah, it wasn't big with the result, but every single one of them should be very, very proud.
I'm going to put this to you, because you always, every time we talk, you always say what it means to other people. You always sing the praises of everybody else from top to bottom, as you just did there. What does this mean to you to be here? Because we spoke beforehand, you spoke to Matty and said your dad's ashes were with you.
You want to get me emotional.
I don't. I really don't. I really don't. You know I don't. Yeah. But you made it here to Wembley. Your dad made it here to Wembley. Gemma made it here to Wembley.
Yeah.
They're here under the arch with you. Yeah. What does that mean?
I got teased in my eyes. You tell me that. Yeah. It's everything. That's like football's been my family, and things like this, and this occasion, to be able to spread my dad's ashes after the game on the pitch was. I had a little moment in the hotel this morning, sat in the sun, and I'm having a moment now telling you why.
You're welcome to that moment,
no one's listening. But no, just to be able to do that, and like I said, it's I'm very proud, man.
Can I just say as well, Graham, congratulations to you, to your team, to your family, to everyone involved in this run, because it's not just giving the players, yourselves, a doubt. It's inspired a town as well. It's inspired an area.
Unbelievable. The fans, like I said, they come week in, week out. There's about 20 of them who come wherever you are in that country. They'll be there, and they've got that moment today as well. And they've all the messages you get. They say like whatever whatever the result, you've given us this moment. And they said we've had it's been an unbelievable run, an unbelievable occasion today. We haven't won it, but we feel like tonight, I think everyone will sit back, they'll have a drink together, and we'll reflect on how proud and what we've achieved is unbelievable.
Well, Graham, we won't keep you any longer. We really appreciate you being with us. Graham Lee, the manager, the proudest man in Spennymoor Town this afternoon. A true privilege. He's going to get me now. He says he's going to get me now for making him emotional on the radio. But as I said, the proudest man in Spennymoor this afternoon. He's off now to go and drink in those last few moments on the Wembley pitch with his teammates down there. Harry Roy is in and amongst it as well, I'm sure, getting some post-match reaction, which we will bring to you on our social media channels.